guys like fucking around? Well, I hope you like finding out just as much because many of you are about to.
Even if I found that, my dad left a negative YouTube comment, I don't think I would ever recognize him as alive again.
Those people are worthless and they deserve to be made fun of.
How'd you get banned? What'd you do? What'd you say?
I think it was, why don't you say that to my face? And then there was a comma.
The internet is full of schizophrenic psychopaths, dispensing their opinions everywhere in massive batches. Paragraphs on paragraphs of nonsense every day. Comments on comments.
Right this way.
Holy shit! Dipshits and fuckboys, welcome to Comments on Comments, the only internet show dedicated entirely to comments and commentary. I'm Trixie the Golden Witch, and on each episode of Comments on Comments, I'll be inviting a stable of guests to affect silly voices and read the dumbest, most entitled, most embarrassing, thoughtless, and badly written comments on the internet, and then extensively analyze what those commenters are unintentionally saying about themselves in their writing. Joining me for this inaugural episode and to help me create a sense of what the hell this show is before I start bringing on everyone else that I know who's got a decent microphone is my husband and co-host from the We Watch Anime podcast and the star of the picnic adventure, cooking, and travel series, Bird Stork. Everybody say hi, Bird.
Hi, Bird.
Bird.
Hi, Bird.
It has often been said that I like drama. Bird. I like drama. No. Bird. I love drama. I love takedowns. I love investigations. I love podcast wars. I love comments, criticism. I love gay ops, leaks, and screenshots. Drama across communities, in forums, in subreddits, Instagram, in chanboards, through replies, on the Facebook, in the phone. I love every act of drama that can occur upon this earth. I love putting the enemy on blast with disses that thunder from the rumbling of my keyboard. My heart leaps with joy whenever a dipshit is hoisted high into the air and left to rest upon their own petard. And there is nothing like a gay operator using a chat leak to destroy enemy reputations, and the feeling that comes when a YouTuber runs screaming from their cancelled channel only to be arrested by the actual police. Such an exquisite feeling. Like when ranks of stans brandish their arguments, rushing into the comments section. It moves me deep within my heart to watch a fresh fanboy respond over and over to the oversized debate of a dedicated troll. The sight of Sniper Wolf filming herself outside of Jack's Film's house is an irresistible pleasure. And there is nothing more arousing than the sounds made by Keemstar dropping some goss, screaming the N-word back and forth with Leafy or iDubbbz or someone. When a band of pitiful low-sub streamers try to topple someone famous with small goss, only to have their Discord smashed to atoms channel by pedophile accusations, I'm in ecstasy. I love it when my friends are accused of being rape apologists by a bald Armenian Aspie. It's so sad to see lies and implications that were supposed to be founded at all costs being spread to chans, their anons and memers posting cringe and shit. I love to be buried under the heap of New York and Hollywood content machines, the humiliation as my friends crawl around like vermin, ducking the latest content ID updates. Gentle they, I ask for drama. Drama so grand as to make YouTube itself tremble. Gentle they, I ask you as fellow posters with arms, what is it that you really want? Do you wish for further drama as I do? Do you wish for a constant, shitty drama? A drama whose fury is built with bullshit and screaming and goss? Do you ask for drama to sweep in like a shitstorm, leaving not even bots to scavenge from this internet? Very well. Then drama is what you shall have. We are an unclenched fist, ready to type down all of our bitching with fury. But after enduring over half a decade wallowing in the darkness, for us, a simple, ordinary drama will no longer be sufficient. We need a massive drama. A drama beyond any other that man's history has ever known. We are but a single podcast, the remnants of a defeated channel numbering less than 1 million subs. However, I believe that each of you old commenters is equal to 1,000 of their bitch-made children. We represent a force that could easily annoy an army of 1,000,002 lurkers. It is time for them to stay woke, the ones who sent us screaming into oblivion and who now lie sleeping. Let's drag them out of bed to their laptops and remind them of what we are. We will remind them of what it feels like to post in fear. We will remind them of the sound of our keyboards that they make when we write our comments. We will remind them that there are more things between based and cringe than are dreamt of in their philosophy. We will remind them that there are more... Oh, I said that already. Our podcast of 1,000 commenters is going to burn this internet down to ash. Yes, my friends. Soon YouTube's charred remains will resemble permanent dark mode. I have brought you all back just as I promised I would. Back to our favorite battlefield. Back to our beloved drama. At last, the Golden Witch has started a podcast and is heading up the charts. Attention, all commenters of the Comments on Comments podcast. This is a message from your host. Friends, let's bring them hell. In the form of outrageously bad comments. We'll be starting with an example, just to give the audience a general idea of what we do here. In this case, we're dealing with a reply, so I'm going to read the comment that's being replied to first, and then Bird is going to read the reply. Are you ready? Are you ready to actually read comments?
I am ready to actually read comments, except for the screen's kind of tilted weird for me. I guess that's because of the camera, isn't it?
All right, so I'll be the first guy.
All right.
This is Putthead. How many chromosomes do you have?
God damn, I need glasses. More than you, that's for sure. Stop responding and I'll do the same.
So now let's go ahead and explain what is funny about this comment. Having more chromosomes than the normal amount means that you have Down syndrome. So this person just assumes that this guy's, asking him, oh, you don't even have as many chromosomes as I do. And this guy's like, I got way more chromosomes than you. And this is the type of comment that we're going to be unpacking mostly on this show. So the reason that this comment came to our attention is that this person, wouldn't you like to know, is one of the fans and defenders on Twitter of a right-wing streamer called Eric July, or Isom. He has a comic called Isom that he's done all these
Young
Kickstarters
Rippa.
for, and basically his comic is really, really bad, and this was pointed out by podcast host Dick Masterson of The Dick Show, after his friend Vito kept complaining that he was saying this comic is going to be bad. So for a long time, Vito was saying, all these people keep hyping up this comic, but there's no reason to think it would be good based on this guy has no experience. There's just no reason to be hyped about it. And when the comic actually came out and Dick read it, he was like, wow, this is actually astonishingly bad. And he wrote a bunch of criticism of it. And Eric July took this really, really personally and basically started a podcast war with Dick Masterson, which led into all kinds of extra drama. Our friend...
Excuse me. Sorry.
Our friend Riley from ASE Presents, who works with The Dick Show... he got involved in this and ended up getting his Twitter account suspended by Eric July over bullshit reasons, and so he started getting involved in drama with him. So there's all kinds of stuff going on with this guy.
I do believe he's gotten Riley suspended from Twitter twice now.
Damn. Yeah, our buddy Riley has a show about this where he's just going through stupid comments that... because not only is Eric July an idiot who says a lot of dumb things, but his fans are also idiots who say a lot of dumb things.
Wait, a show on the internet with two people
reacting to
bad comments.
Yeah, it's pure parallel thought. Neither of us, well, I knew he was going to do his show, but I didn't know he was going to react to bad comments, and he did not know I was doing this show until I launched it. But yeah, For Canon's Sake is Riley's show just talking about all the dumb stuff that comes out of these people. And they really have it in their heads that in Texas, if somebody shows up at your house for any reason at all, you are allowed, or place of business, or anything, like any property you own, you are very within your rights to murder them. Like, no matter what, you can just air them out. And, like, people keep saying this phrase, especially in Texas. It comes up in comment after comment.
I have seen that a lot.
Where they're like, oh, well, you really can't show up at someone's house in Texas. It's like, the rules aren't that different in Texas. Like, you cannot just murder people who show up at your house. It's just really goofy, and they keep threatening, like, to do that to Riley. Who,
technically an electric razor is a weapon.
Yeah, Riley, in retaliation, has been threatening to shave Eric July's shoulders. He, of course, is in this image. You can see Riley is showing off his own hairy shoulders to be competitive with Eric July's hairiness.
Are they even hairy?
So this is just one of the dramas ongoing on the internet. The latest updates from that is like all of the artwork from their comic is very clearly traced from 3D models, so it all looks like garbage. It's just full of jank, and Eric just settled out of court the lawsuit he had where the International School of Ministry, which was already using the name ISOM, trademark disputed him over his comic being called ISOM. So, I guess he paid a bunch of money to be allowed to use the name. Yeah, just goofy drama, but you can keep up with that over on Clip and Rip. We're not going to be as interested in Eric July as all the crazy, there's truly insane drama that's gone on this week on YouTube. I didn't name this the craziest drama spike in YouTube history to talk about Eric July, who's barely a known YouTuber in the first place. But I wanted to use that as an example of what we're going to be doing, especially in this first episode, sort of going over bad comments and also introducing you to the surrounding drama that we'll be analyzing going forward on this show, where we pull apart bad comments. Before we jump into it, though, Bird, you do other shows.
I do?
Yeah. You want to talk about the other shows that you're a part of? Because you and I have another podcast together.
Well, we watch anime.
We do watch anime on We Watch Anime, which is a channel that you can find here on YouTube, where we cover a
We do about 2 shows a year.
Yeah, we're often very late with this show, but we just put out a new episode where we're talking about the crazy stretch of episodes that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 just had. We're talking about Dr. Stone and Pokemon, the most recent Pokemon season.
That turtle is
Did you know they
cute.
retired Ash? He's not around anymore. There's a whole new cast. It's a whole different adventure show. It's still for children, but hey, we're talking about it because we like Pokemon, because we're fucking mentally children. That's why we care about things like drama on YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, we talk about a few other currently airing anime, and then we talk about one classic show from each decade of anime history. So Speed Racer, Mobile Suit Gundam, Mason Ikoku, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Monster, Steins Gate, and Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. What is your favorite of the anime that we talk about on the show?
Ooh, of old or new?
I mean,
we're
just
splitting that up.
Go on. Yeah, we are going to split it into 2 different shows.
Jujutsu Kaisen's probably my favorite to watch, and I guess Speed Racer from the old.
Yeah, because you grew up with Speed Racer as a kid, so it's very
really
nostalgic.
hard to keep track of what's going on in that show, even as an adult.
It's a wild show. Speed Racer is much more of an adventure show than it is a racing show. But anyway, that's We Watch Anime, and then you also are the star of the Picnic Adventure channel, because the 2 of us travel all over the United States. We go to lots of national parks. We're always filming footage of us just like doing cool things. You're usually cooking in unique locations.
Hey, I'm wearing the Grand Canyon right now.
I do a lot of the filming, I do all the filming, and so you're usually
and I
the star.
walk around without any shoes on.
So yeah, subscribe to those channels if you need more bird content in your life. And meanwhile, I am going to tell you all that Comments on Comments is supported exclusively on Backed.by. Backed.by is kind of like Patreon, except that I own my instance of backed.by, so I can't ever be removed from it. It's backed by the blockchain, so you just use it like a regular banking platform. You just put in your information, you send me money or whatever. It's the same as Patreon, but it works through the blockchain, and I can't ever be taken off of it. If people get offended by what I say on this podcast, there's nothing they can fucking do about it to affect your ability to pay me through back.by. I'm not using any other platforms because it's the only one that I trust long term, and I want this to be a long-term viable series. For the same reason, this series is on multiple channels. I made my own channel for the show on YouTube. It's also going to be posted on my main channel, at least for now. But I fully expect this to get taken off of YouTube. I think commenters generally don't like to get shit on. They tend to be snippy, vengeful, little
would you qualify it as
cunts.
bullying?
I think there are some people who would qualify it as bullying. I obviously wouldn't, because that would probably lean the odds towards my channel getting taken down. I would say there's no bullying happening here at all, actually. But yeah, there's lots of podcasts that are similar to this one. I'm very much ripping off what Carl from Who Are These Podcasts or Who Are These Socials and Blind Mike is doing. Lots of other people, The Dick Show, all the people who you literally heard in the opening theme. But yeah, I'm doing a show similar to theirs, but it's a dangerous road to tread when it comes to monetization and staying platform. So I'm also posting all this stuff on Rumble, which is supposedly more of a free speech platform. I don't know that much about it.
The only things I ever hear about Rumble are Dick saying that it's the worst platform ever.
Yeah, but he's also been relegated there because his YouTube channel got deleted, and he gets more views on Rumble than he does on Vimeo. So I would say it's the healthier platform. So I'm posting my stuff there as well. I haven't had any problems using it in the few times that I have. So I just want to make sure everybody in the audience understands as well. You will never make it onto this show by posting deliberately bad comments. If you go into the comment section and you just write some dumb stuff, a bunch of you probably already did this. I'm just probably going to ban you because you're a dumb child, and I'm going out into the internet to find the funniest bad comments. You can't replicate being a funny idiot. You might be an unfunny idiot who thinks leaving a bad comment would be funny, but that's not how you make it onto this show.
If a funny idiot were to leave a comment on the channel, would you not block them or ban them? Or
I mean, I would probably block and ban them, but also screen cap the comment, or I might leave them around so that I can farm comments off of them. But I don't want anybody to think that they are getting their comments read on this. This is a corrective podcast. The point of this is to teach you what's wrong with your comments and how you can do better. The opening one was outrageously wrong. This person just scientifically doesn't understand what he's saying. He didn't understand what he was responding to. I would have made a bigger deal out of it, but Dick already talked about that comment. So, I just wanted to use it as an example because it's legendary. It's so amazing. Yeah, so if you do want to involve yourself in this show in a non-monetary way, if you're somebody who can make artwork, you could replace the generic AI logo that Bing took a billion tries to make me.
We love our generic AI logo.
Bing AI does not know how to spell. So, there were plenty of logos that, looked cool, but the fucking doesn't say comments on comments. So, it took a billion tries to get one that worked at all. But, yeah, replace my AI placeholders. You could submit artwork, you could submit jingles. There's going to be different segments in this show. I didn't have time to make jingles for them, but if you like a segment, no, I'm not going to. Didn't think of anything. So
I see.
Yeah, there's also a Discord linked on the channel's About page. That would be a great place.
There's a new Discord?
Yes, there's a new Comments on Comments Discord, and honestly, the best way you could
have time to do all of this?
The most helpful way you could support this show is to send me bad comments. Just send me stuff that would be funny. Way more useful than trying to write your own bad comments would be to find me bad comments. I'll give you credit even if you find me one. You want credit. I don't know why you would give a fuck, but you can also be credited by paying me on back.by $10 a month.
And just to clarify, sending her bad comments does not mean like commenting bad things.
No, it means
on the
finding
channel.
bad comments that other people made that are funny for me to rip
Just
off.
gotta make it crystal clear.
Crystal fucking clear. As clear as fucking crystal, if you will. Because we're going to talk about somebody who said that once on this episode. I also, like, part of the format of this show, I want people to come on to do their own funny voices to read comments. So I'm inviting basically anybody who's interested. If you have a good microphone, if you already have a podcast, that's a great audition. I know a bunch of people I'm going to invite, but I want to see who just, like, asks first. Like, whoever puts their hands up first is going to get to come on first, you know? But
I didn't even put my hand up. I'm just here. Wow.
Anybody involved with the Dick Show or Biggest Problem, like Vito, Dick, Mad Cucks, Andy Signore, Riley Mint, Larry Blydner, you know, anybody from that universe, the Dabbleverse, meaning the whole Who Are These Podcast universe, Carl, Vinny, Blind Mike, Cardiff Electric would be really fun. Hack Ride would be really fun, or Tukey.
Tukey World Order.
Andy, Annie, Lucy, Chris, Hack the Movies crew.
I don't know that I've ever heard a podcast launch just by naming a bunch of people.
People who I want to be on my show, because I want people to bother them. Like, hey, Trixie said she wanted you on that show, and I want you on that show too, so I'm going to bother you about going on that show.
I'm sure people will love that.
Tony from Hack the Movies, famous YouTuber Tony from Hack the Movies, very famous.
We love him.
And Johanna and Crystal from that show. Anybody who does voice acting, if you do any voice acting, video games, cartoons, anime, parody dubs, web series, any of my homies from the anime or the brony community, like Shabes, Kexi, and Nino, Landon, Bacaraptor, Cider, Chi-Chi, Jeff Burgess, any of y'all want to come on? Video game reviewers that have cool voices. I don't know most of these people, but like Nerol or Matthew Matosis, Clemps, Seth Zintak would be amazing, K-Bash, Finn McKenty, the Punk Rock NBA.
You really wrote out a whole huge
YMS, the Cinemassacre, Oki's Weird Stories, the Kino Corner, Justin Wang, any of my old friends, and practically anybody with a decent microphone who knows how to read. One day, I want the show to get popular enough to pull Video Game Donkey, Ego Raptor, and Yahtzee Croshaw. Those are our missions, all right? That's my three. That's like the three objects I have to collect for this podcast before it's like achieved its final form. I love how you're imitating my body language. I already read all that. I keep rereading things I already read. There's literally a script for this, by the way. People who are not watching the video and don't know why Bird is laughing, just giggling maniacally.
See, like, I didn't have time to read the script and practice my body movements and such, and so I'm just stealing yours.
All right. Are you ready to talk about the single greatest goss apocalypse in YouTube history?
A second video has hit the James Summer Towers.
Thank you. That was Juza Hyodo's comment. I believe this was on Todd in the Shadows video. This is the craziest thing I've ever found out was happening with no idea, no foresight. So Hbomberguy is a YouTuber I've been following for like a decade. He was not always, and isn't necessarily, a drama YouTuber.
Oof.
But yeah, he had a huge video not too long ago.
Bad Roblox oof.
About the Roblox oof sound and about Tommy Tallarico, who is this industry personality who I've known about since I was a fucking teenager and is apparently a massive con artist. And it was like this huge expose on him.
How did you know about Tommy Tallarico as a teenager?
Because he had a show on G4 where he did reviews with another guy. And he also was a sound designer, which there's no other video game sound designer who anyone has heard of for any reason, but Tommy Tallarico was very insistent that he was like a rock star game sound designer, because he wants to promote his lifestyle, and he's again, massive con artist. But so are a bunch of other people that were revealed in this video, and I'm sure that some of this was like stuff people already know about, particularly at the start. There's a section on Cinemassacre and the drama that happened with them, with the plagiarized Monster Madness month from, God, what was it, 2 years ago? And
I think it was further than that.
We were around this in a weird way because it just so happens that we were like at the Too Many Games convention and hanging. We know Tony from Hack the Movies, and this guy Newt Wallen, who did the plagiarism,
was around.
Like we had hung out with this dude. We knew this guy. We knew Newt before this happened because.
Oh, I put on the Sharkula mask.
Yeah, like this dude, he has not been able to finish this because he doesn't own the rights, and he got fired from Cinemassacre. But he was working on a movie called Sharkula, which is about a shark Dracula. And when he was making the first teaser, like just a study, like can I even make this? He had. His ex-girlfriend, Crystal Quinn, who's one of the Hack the Movies co-hosts, as, like, the lead actress. And because we showed up this day, and, like, we met him on set doing this thing, he was going to be in the Sharkula outfit himself, and he got Bird to wear it instead. Because he's just like, oh, it'll look better on you. Stifling mask, Bird, like, struggling to breathe for an hour. What was
very hard.
What was your impression at the time? Like,
he was pretty good at directing me where to go and recognizing that I was dying in a shark mask.
Yeah, we felt like he was doing a decent job as a director and like praised him. Like we thought this guy seemed pretty all right, but
I'm sure my mind would be blown away if I ever had the honor to be directed by Tony from Hack the Movies.
The more we learned about Newt, he is kind of a dirtbag, and
he takes care of his cat or something. I don't remember.
Sure. The whole plagiarism scandal is symptomatic of something that if you were to go watch his channel, he's sort of a lolcat. Like there are people who have channels dedicated to chronicling crazy shit that Newt Wallen says.
I mean, even the Hbomberguy video has a fair amount of it.
Of just like insane shit that he's.
Oh
said
no,
before.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Of
No,
just his
not
presence?
his Twitter. Just exactly what he did in terms of plagiarism and how he stole from the
No,
articles.
I'm
Really
talking
crazy.
about his channel Schlock and Awe Films, where he does some of the worst movie reviews you'll ever see from his kitchen. Not that look, we're in a Motel 6. I'm not gonna like knock his sets, but he'll have like action figures on his stove in the background. Like it's
Yeah, where's Grookey? We should put him in the background.
pretty embarrassing. I cleaned. I put down a blanket for the backdrop.
We put down a
behind
blanket
Bird
for
here.
you, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, he's an embarrassing guy, and when he did the plagiarism, when the news was first breaking, it was at the convention, and he's going around lying to people openly, like about that he didn't really do it, and like he was pressured by this person or that person, and like talking to random con staffers and just spilling drama all over the place, spilling spaghetti. It was wild to witness, and we just happened to be there. You were con staff at the time.
Yeah,
So
I was in
you were literally in the break room listening to Newt try to like pass blame off onto James and shit for his. He literally copied like 40 articles. Yeah, it was wild.
He was not having a good time.
No, that was a bad time.
Rightfully
for him.
so.
That's just one thing that's touched on early into the 4.5-hour Hbomberguy video. There's a whole section about Illuminati. That didn't surprise me. I thought that person was insufferable in the first place, could never make it through their videos. And then there's, I guess, a segment about Man in Cave being plagiarized, which is a video you really like. And
I don't know. I still like the video. I liked all the YouTuber faces on the guys.
The voice acting and everything.
Yeah.
There's definitely a transformative element to that one. I haven't actually watched that
I've got to watch
video,
that
but
bit.
obviously him not crediting or like, last minute saying like, oh, this is based on it. Like, no, you read an article. Like,
I don't know. It was pretty obvious that it was a real event.
Well,
and,
yeah.
As soon as
you can write your own version of you could read an article and then write your own version of your understanding of what that article told you, as opposed to reading the article.
Yeah.
I think that's Hbomberguy's accusation. But the main meat of the video, the biggest section of it, and the part that was crazy to me, is James Somerton, because I was a fan of this guy. Like, I've been watching James Somerton videos for probably like 3 years. He's a gay YouTuber who talks about gay shit. And, I don't know, I thought he exaggerated a lot, and, like, there were times where he was just kind of speculating about things that might have happened, and I can kind of brush that off because I do that same kind of stuff. I just didn't realize that he... I before I even saw that that he comes up in the Hbomberguy video. I saw the Todd in the Shadows video. Todd in the Shadows is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's been doing it forever. He was originally part of That Guy with the Glasses network, but he does music reviews. He's really funny. He does a ton of research. He's really worldly. I think he does great work. He's never made a drama video before. Never. And basically he found out that Hbomber was doing this project, and he was already annoyed with James himself, and so like looked into it. And so whereas Hbomberguy's video reveals like systematic lying, or not systematic lying, systematic plagiarism, and then lying about the plagiarism, Todd in the Shadows reveals that he just makes up history, like large swaths of crazy claims about history that like I just kind of glossed over this shit listening to his videos in the background, and not being a history buff myself, especially not a queer history buff. But like seeing it all broken down was like, wow, he really said that stuff. He really had the audacity to think nobody would realize that this was made up or plagiarized.
He thought he was Ridley Scott.
yeah, blow up those pyramids. I love that meme. So yeah, this was a nuts thing to watch happen, but what made it relevant to me more so, I appreciated all the drama, but there was a certain comment on that video.
Oh Lord!
I have to zoom in on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. Do you want me to read this again?
It's from Real Maddox.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Great video. You should look into Justin Wang. I recently covered some of his plagiarism.
What do you think of that Maddox voice?
It's pretty Maddoxy.
So, Maddox, do you want to try to explain who Maddox? What is your understanding of Maddox? I've known Maddox since like 2007.
My introduction to this whole universe.
Come closer.
Oh God.
Come closer.
My introduction to this whole universe was I was working overnights at a gas station, and I listened to the Drunken Peasants podcast quite often, almost every night. They weren't live streaming. I would listen to the backlogs and whatever. They had Maddox and Dick on one week after the other. I think the podcast, The Biggest Problem in the Universe, had just broken up, and they were telling the sides of their story. And I didn't really have an opinion on the sides of the story, except for, wow, Dick sounds a lot cooler than Maddox. So then I listened to The Biggest Problem in the Universe. I think actually what happened, I got halfway into the Drunken Peasants episode where they were just talking about a bunch of stuff that, I think it was the Dick one, where they were just dumping lore, and I have no idea what any of this means.
Yeah.
And so then I started listening to The Biggest Problem in the Universe, and I don't know. I've always liked Dick more than I've liked Maddox. I don't really understand Maddox.
He's a crazy person.
He is a crazy person, yeah.
I think what made Maddox interesting to people like me is that
he did blur me out of one of his videos, though.
I think he just had so little experience with socialization that he, in order to try to make himself act more like normal people, he came up with all these weird systems and regimes. But, like, his goal wasn't to be, well, I shouldn't say normal. His goal was to be, like, superior. He just wanted to be, like, the ultimate human. And so he built all these weird ideas of how to do that. And most of them are really asinine and backwards. But a lot of people who can relate to just being that way, like, when I was in my early 20s, that was the way I thought. Was like, I'm going to convince myself to do this, and then I'm going to build this whole scheme of how I'm going to convince myself of that, you know.
But Maddox is 45.
Maddox. Yeah, so, well, you know, there's a lot of issues with Maddox that became more and more clear the more of that show you watch. And, you know, I go through the whole history of this in a recent video on the Yig Studio channel about how Maddox called me a pedophile in a big rant he put out recently. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But this is him trying to piggyback off of this Hbomberguy video to no success. Nobody cares. Nobody's clicking on this. Hbomberguy doesn't know who this fucking guy is. He's not going to go watch his stupid 3-hour documentary he just made about Dick, nor his 90-minute documentary about Justin Wang, where he tries to call Justin Wang a plagiarist. Now, Maddox could not have watched the Hbomberguy video. There's just no way he did.
I just don't think Maddox knows what even is a plagiarism.
No. I think he saw that there was a video blowing up about plagiarism on YouTube and went,
I did a video about a plagiarist on YouTube, Justin Wang. He's a famous plagiarist YouTuber.
But Justin Wang is somebody who, like, credits his sources. Like, yeah, he is largely just, you know, reading you stuff that exists, but, like, what Justin Wang is best known for to me is being a curator. I follow him on Twitter. He retweets things all of the time. There's inherently credit given in a retweet. There are plenty of people out there who just screen cap shit and repost it. Freebooters, as they're called. I think Maddox was even in... No, I'm thinking of somebody else who gave that the name. Maddox knows this shit. Maddox has been on the internet forever. He knows what the difference is between a plagiarist and somebody who's, like, using something for parody or for commentary, because he does these things. He has quoted things. He's cited quotes. He's done all of the work that Justin Wang has done. And he tries to cherry pick examples where he thinks Justin is, like, closer to plagiarizing and this or that. So, look, nobody cares. The internet's a popularity contest.
Everything's a popularity contest.
If you want to make someone unpopular, you have to prove that they did something that people hate more than the amount that they like that person. You're not going to do that to Justin Wang. He's, like, one of the most beloved people. Like, it's not that he's unbelievably famous. It's that for as big as he is, no one hates him. He's got so many popular people who back him, who've been... Because most people see what he does as signal boosting. Like, he's drawing more attention to all of these stories, all of this intrigue that's happening on the internet. But when he's signal boosting the fact that you're a fucking idiot, like in the case of Maddox, who he's covered a few times, Maddox gets really upset and wants revenge. So the only reason Maddox made a video about Justin Wang is that Wang has made videos about Maddox's drama, pointing out that Maddox is a fucking idiot. So Maddox tried to get revenge, and no one cares. The video has like 70,000 views. If anyone gave a fuck, it would have...
any kind of impact whatsoever.
It would have already had a huge impact because, like, 70,000 views is not something to scoff at, and the reason he got that is Maddox hadn't uploaded in, like, 5 or 6 years, and we were all wondering where the fuck he had been. So it was, you know, it got a lot of attention, but it didn't get a lot of positive attention for what Maddox... It didn't fulfill his intentions, such that he's lurking around other people's comments trying to get more attention to his video. So that tells you how well the one about the even less famous Dick Masterson is going to go. I have a great Justin Wang retweet here. This is a perfect example of why I love Justin Wang. He boosts other people's... I love the Kino Corner. Friend of mine, somebody I've done podcasts with, Justin Wang retweeting the Kino Corner. Anybody who sees this is going to know that Kino did this, is going to have every opportunity to click through to his tweet. You know, all those 97 likes, those 7 retweets, those are all on his tweet because of the way Justin did this. So not plagiarism. I'll read the Kino Corner. Or no, you read the Kino Corner, I'll read the comment that he's responding to.
Time to hang up my hat. He got my ass. I can never recover.
It's a great Kino Corner voice.
Well, I was more doing the spirit of what he was saying, not his voice.
Graceful Grizzly 39 said,
"Nobody gives a fuck about the hipster directors of some shitty B-movie. I'm getting tired of your whole keep Austin weird, but also I'm based shtick. You're not even a virgin, and yet you claim to be the champion of literally me."
Pause.
Didn't Steven Spielberg direct the B movie? Like, that's a pretty big... I don't know why she's shitting on that, or they're shitting on that.
I don't think Steven Spielberg directed the fucking B movie. No, I'm not sure that's the thing. This comment, it's shitty all the way through, but the first 2 sentences are not, like, outrageously weird. They're just, you know...
Oh, fine.
I get the sentiment of those 2.
I wish Spielberg had directed the B movie.
You're not even a virgin, and yet you claim to be the champion of literally me. So, like, literally me is a just a phrase.
What is the champion of literally me? Is it a group of people?
Thank you for being interested. I will let you know. Literally me is a internet meme where you're like, oh, that character is literally me.
Well, but how do you become a champion of that?
So, literally me became kind of recognizable as a sort of genre because, and it has a lot of tie into Sigma male as a meme.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm aware of the term, and I know Kino
has a whole
made
fucking
a lot of
video
videos
literally
about it.
explaining what literally me means, and then made a series of videos about movies that are literally me movies. None of them are about virgins.
So
they're not the incel movie list.
Is this person upset that he is making so many videos about literally me characters? Like, he can't literally be all of these people? Then,
No. All of them are sort of the same guy.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Kino is like,
I'm trying to.
First of all, Kino's
figure
not
out
even
the
claiming
madness.
that he is that those characters are literally him.
No,
he's just making videos about movies that people say that about. But like the movies are not the literally me characters are not virgins. They're not incels. Literally me does not mean incel. Sigma male does not mean incel. It can mean that you're avoidant of sex, or that your relationships are troubled. But like the characters, I don't think Ryan Gosling in any of the movies that he's in is a fucking virgin.
I didn't see him have sex in Drive, but I also haven't seen Drive.
Yeah, me neither. So I don't know. I'm definitely not the champion of literally me. So anyway, Maddox is such a dumb bastard. I wanted to highlight
remember this one.
Some of his worst comments because. So, Maddox, he's on Twitter and Blue Sky. He posts the exact same shit on both of them. And most of it is just hack. It's very, like, old hat. He always sounds like a blogger from the 2000s, which is when he was most relevant. But, like, he's saying shit that not even he said in the 2000s, that other people said, and, like, he forgot he read.
He said
and
other
now
things in the 2000s. He can't say the same things.
So now he's just saying shit other people said back then. It'll make sense what I'm saying as we go through these comments. But he starts with this insipid nonsense.
Insipid nonsense.
Have we had a single month since 2016 where we didn't have a major world event? And follow-up question, could we?
You know, if the whole world got together and decided, let's not have a major world event for a month, it'd be like a fucking earthquake or a meteor or something.
If Maddox had money, he would
lose his money.
Buy. How he would lose his money is he would buy tits, he would buy a wig, and the wig would be like one of those swoosh. He would be a Karen. He would just turn into a Karen overnight. This just. God. World events have always been happening. What since 2016 was crazier than the French Revolution?
Donald Trump got elected.
Donald Trump was crazier than the French Revolution?
To Maddox, probably.
The pandemic was pretty big. It's a pretty big deal.
That wasn't 2016.
Pretty major. No, that was like 2020. So, like, what the fuck what between 2016 and the pandemic?
Oh, the biggest problem in the universe ended.
Oh, that's true. His life ended. Actually, yeah, the major world-shattering event that happened in 2016 was his second podcast.
His career
was a failure.
ended.
Yeah, his career took a nosedive. So, this just is. It's just he's too old to think like this. He's too old to think like this is something a teenager says. Like, oh my god, I can't believe the world has gotten so much crazier in the last 5 years. Like, no, you just got old enough to understand how crazy the world is. But overall, the world is way less crazy. Like, perpetually on a cycle of getting less crazy since World War II. Like, we reached an apex of crazy, and we couldn't go above that without everybody dying. So we just scaled it back. And, like...
less crazy
I just think in the 90s... people were really good at lying to their kids, and all those kids are grown up now, and they're all like, oh, fuck, I was lied to. But they're internalizing it as the world got worse. And it's like, no, you just didn't understand what was happening because you were a child, which Maddox still is mentally. Which is why he's obsessed with making fun of children's artwork. This shit, You want to read this one, please? Give me your best.
Oh,
best
yes,
Maddox.
I remember that. Oh, how is there not Cheerios? Churros flavored Cheerios. Monumental fumble by General Mills. Oh,
The banana dogs.
Yeah.
That's really good. If you had a voice morpher to make it high pitched, it would be perfect. That's so adorable. So, this immediately pissed me off because I consume cereal. General Mills makes Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
but that's not Cheerios.
They
you know?
made a churro version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But it's not Cheerios.
Like,
It's got to be that
I get
Cheerios
he's-
flavor.
All he cares about is the name. He's just like, well, they should make a pun name. They should make a churro flavored Cheerio because they can call it Cheerios, and that'll automatically sell. And it's like, just because something is a pun doesn't mean it's good or that like anybody gives a fuck. Like, they probably tried that. They probably have.
Or they will and not give you credit.
There's people whose entire job is just to sit there trying to find a new flavor of fucking cereal to sell you. They've definitely thought of the churro thing because they already did it with their cinnamon-themed cereal. Of course, he actually managed to get a response.
Oh my God, there's
to
a
that.
lot.
Oh no, I lost the response. Where is it? Shit. Well, they told him, like, we'll think about it. And he was like, oh, if there's a Cheerios, you can all thank me for it. Very proud of himself.
That's cool.
He also is talking about how much of a prescient genius he is because there was an article about how Walmart, Costco, and other companies are rethinking the self-checkouts. And
Self-checkouts, if you have a problem with them, you're the problem.
yeah, well, his response, well, motherfuckers. Which prescient genius has been saying this for years? Now, I will say, when Maddox brought self-checkouts as a problem and the biggest problem in the universe, I was somewhat in agreement because they used to suck. They used to have those weight sensors where, like, if you took something out of the thing, it would start beeping at you. And, it used to be harder to look up items and everything. But now, even getting alcohol is not that big of a pain.
It is in
ass.
California.
It can, yeah.
Because in California, you can't use the self-checkout.
Yeah, they won't let you at all. But in other states, somebody will just usually come over and ring out your thing, like, immediately.
Just make it so
There's
you can
usually an
scan your
attendant.
ID at the grocery store. How hard could that be? Like, why can't I do it?
I'm like at the grocery store all the time. I use the self-checkout all the time. We often go in for a few things. Like, if the dumb people who try to do their whole groceries in it are idiots, but they're less and less common as the years go on. And
I think it's more and more common. I think more people, especially like
Well, that's
Walmart,
unfortunate.
people are just like using.
well, they've started making those self-checkouts that have a belt lane and everything. And
Oh
like,
yeah, you're right.
I think the problem tends to be more with, like, the machines go down a lot, and they are always, like, half of them are closed, and people steal really easily. I steal lots of things from Walmart because of
They're
the self-checkout
cracking down on
lanes.
stealing,
So
apparently.
if they do that, I'm just going to stop going to Walmart. It's not worth it if I can't steal something every once in a while, but,
Every once in a while.
yeah,
I can hear Maddox, like, talking in my head. And this self-admitted pedophile has also admitted to stealing from Walmart.
That's really funny. Yeah, it's like, I don't think, what I think Maddox doesn't understand about this issue is that smart customers have a better experience with the self-checkout lane. If the system is fucked up, then that's unfortunate. It sucks that people are too dumb to use them. It sucks that companies are losing money on them because those of us who like them would like to keep them. We think they're cool. And that's, I think, what Maddox is missing with this whole issue. Do you want to do this one? This is one I think you'll definitely disagree with pretty hard.
I was going to try and do an Oxmad, but I don't have a good enough mental image of what that sounds like. If someone asks you how you're doing and you respond by shouting, woo, you'd be shunned. But at a concert, that's apparently a valid answer, and people wonder why English is so hard to learn. Is that part of your Tight 5, Maddox? That's a joke that every stand-up comedian ever has made.
And it's... I understand making this joke about a stand-up. What the fuck are you supposed to say at a concert? Like,
excellent play, fucking like technically proficient up there, guys. No, I'm at a fucking show. What do you want from me? But also, if
usually at
asks,
a show, my response is to, and I'm not going to do it at the volume I can do it at, but scream at the top of my lungs, yeah, or something like that.
You're very loud at concerts.
Yeah.
What pisses me off the most about this is if someone asks how you're doing and you respond by shouting woo, you will not be shunned. Where did he come up? Did this happen to him once?
Well,
when he was a kid, did he shout woo and somebody was like, oh, what the fuck? Because if I ask you how you're doing and you shout woo, I'm going to be like, yeah! Like, this is a party now. Like, I'm instantly into it, Nobody has ever shunned anyone for shouting. This happens in places.
I would bet people have shunned people for saying woo, but like after a terrible car crash or something. You shouldn't say woo after that.
Woo! Yeah, that was sick. Everybody's like, what's wrong with you?
Or like the guy who caused the crash gets out of his car and goes, woo!
Yeah,
Bad idea.
I hate this. His takes are so fucking shitty. Oh, this is the perfect example of what I mean by writing like it's 2004 and he's like an ancient blogger. I'm gonna do the voice for this one. I have to do it as Matty Locks because it's the only. I don't know what Matty Locks sounds like, but this is the voice of this comment. So Saw X is actually good. For a series that has been inconsistent since the first movie, they did something that they've never done before and made a twist that nobody saw coming. They made a good movie. Really surprised by this one. You see what I mean by he's a Karen? Like, just...
It reads like a text I'd get from my grandmother.
So Saw X is actually ... good? Like, okay, look. There's two options for what it can be. Good
or bad.
There's never a surprise if it's one or the other.
No, technically there's good. 10 options.
I guess it was bad.
Like 1 out of 10 scale.
There's just no... Well, I mean, between good and... But he didn't say it was an 8 or whatever. Or a 500 out of 5 or whatever he gave Mad Max. Yeah, I inconsistent since the first movie. So he's saying all of them? Why did he have to... Like, if you're saying inconsistent since the first movie, just say inconsistent. Or always been
He likes using a lot of words.
They did something they've never done before and made a twist that nobody saw coming. A good movie. So he's saying even the first one wasn't good. Only this one is good. Because a lot of people think at least the first Saw is really good.
I don't think I've seen any of the Saw movies. I just look up the traps on YouTube.
Fair enough.
I just look up the traps on YouTube.
Yeah, I bet you do.
If you feel like your degree is worthless, just remember there are people who went to school for years to become scientists who are working around the clock on ways to make guys come bigger loads.
Why are you thinking about that?
Also, based?
Sure, yeah.
What? How is this a... Wait. Imagine, like... You're
I'd
at
love
a bar.
to be able to one-man bukkake someone.
What do you do? I'm a scientist. Oh my god. What do you do? Well, there's some guys who, as they grow older,
they don't come the way they used to.
They're just not able to produce as much, sperm as they once could. Oh, I see. Yeah, so we're trying to find a way to correct that, help people. I mean, it's not just for old people, I might have taken some of it myself. Just saying, there's nothing. Why would this be a diss? Why would this be like, can you believe there's people who are wasting their lives making their cum loads bigger? Those people are probably very happy. Probably get paid better than the people who are thinking they wasted their degrees.
Yeah.
Also, he wrote a ways. Around the clock on 8. It's so fucking... The whole thing is so wordy. You think your degree is worthless. Some people went to school for years just to help guys make bigger cum loads. That took me half the number of words that Maddox used here.
You know, that's particularly funny. I know a lot of people like who went to college in our generation and the generation before me have that feeling of like, oh, my degree was worthless or whatever, but Maddox only feels like his degree was worthless because he didn't finish it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a degree.
He literally doesn't have a degree. He cannot comment on this at all. Yeah, what an idiot.
I mean, he can comment on it.
Oh, boy. So yeah, you know, those are just a taste of what Maddox is like in general, just like what Maddox is, what he chooses to show people as his writing. You can go watch his 3-hour disaster on Dick Masterson where he misgenders me and calls me a pedophile for 3 minutes, or you can watch my response, my 1.5 hour long lecture on the biggest problem in the universe, going through the whole history of the drama that he has with Dick and now with me. So yeah, go check that out. That was the second, between the Hbomberguy and the Maddox video, this was a week I was not prepared for. Neither one of these did I see coming. I didn't know James Somerton was going to get shoot off of YouTube. That Internet Historian's most popular video was going to be marked for plagiarism. That fucking Newt Wallen was going to get talked about in a video with 12 million views. That Maddox was going to come back after 8 years with a hit piece where he calls me a pedophile. I wasn't prepared for any of this. And so everything was so overwhelming. I think I bought into the bullshit a little bit when John Melendez tweeted this.
Hey, Beatrice, you remind me of my daughter a little bit. Could you get me?
Don't talk about my kids.
Could you get me a beer, please?
Oh yeah, sure. Just don't call me.
Don't call.
Will you go ahead and read these two tweets from Stuttering John Melendez real quick? Yeah.
Not only am I single-handedly responsible for getting O&A on the Tonight Show with the dopester, which the dopester knows after Jay... fuck, I can't.
It's hard. You have to take a second. Remember, he doesn't talk fast.
After Jay told him on his show, but now I am single-handedly responsible for getting them back together and amicable again.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were doing the stuttering bit. No, he wants you to know how well he can say the big words.
I love doing charity work and helping people.
I mean, the next one's pretty much just the same thing. You want to do a stuttering?
I'm so happy that I was able to bring Opie and Anthony back together. 30 years of fighting, and it only takes me pushing the right buttons to have them reunite. I am the puppet master. You're welcome, Dopester and Pocky.
That's his nickname for Opie and Anthony. So, I'm sure a lot of you have no fucking idea what this means or what's going on.
The way he talks about like himself as a mastermind, I just have a picture of that one panel of Watchmen with Dr. Manhattan on the moon, but it's John. He's like,
I'm so tired of these people, their problems,
or whatever.
I'm so tired of getting caught up in these people's affairs.
Also...
That's such a preposterous mental image. Just Stuttering John naked with his little blue dick hanging out on Mars.
But anyway,
what were you gonna say, son?
Okay. I've recently heard Stuttering John actually talk on the Howard Stern show, and man, you can kind of hear the roots of his current voice, but he sounds almost like a completely different person.
He sounds fucking awful. He sounds like his voice barely works. So, Stuttering John Melendez was a guy...
An intern on the Howard Stern show. An
intern on the Howard Stern show, which was a big deal in the 90s. Like, the biggest radio show spawned basically the style that was going to become popularized in modern podcasts. And he has a podcast.
Shit.
Not as good
I'm
as
so
it
sorry,
used to
guys. Skål!
Skål! I've never really known much about or kept up with Howard Stern. I only knew him reputationally. I never listened to his show growing up. We had Man Cow in Virginia Beach, which I always thought sucked.
Oh,
and
Carl covered Man
yeah,
Cow.
Who Are These Podcasts did an episode on Man Cow. Apparently he had beefs with Howard Stern and everything. But Opie and Anthony was another like regional show that beefed with Stern that was a big part of like Carl's upbringing because they're from New York. Again, another show I never grew up with. I don't know much about Opie and Anthony besides learning about it through Who Are These Podcasts. As a fan of that podcast and him talking about his experience with them, and particularly how Opie... So Opie and Anthony, it was a big radio show for like 15 years, even though Opie and Anthony kind of hated each other. And in everyone's opinion, Anthony was sort of the talented one, and Opie was like the asshole who had the radio gig that he got Anthony. So when they split up through like getting fired from Sirius XM, Anthony started like another podcast that's just kind of a successful show, and Opie
Compound Media he started.
Yeah, Opie started the worst podcast ever made. So they've made fun of Opie relentlessly on Who Are These Podcasts since like the start of the show. And then Stuttering John, being another guy from the Howard Stern show who also has a really awful podcast, and is also
Opie and Anthony, they never were part of the Howard Stern show.
No.
But at one point they did work out of the same building as Howard Stern.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that they were. I understand how that phrasing was awkward, though. But yeah, John, similar to Opie, also has a shitty podcast and just is a belligerent idiot who is stubborn and who will fight with people who say anything negative about him endlessly. In a way that doesn't make him any money. That's the funniest thing about all these guys we're talking about here, like Maddox, Stuttering John, Opie, is that they're all really talentless, and for a while were able to coast on other people who were like able to find what's good in them and bring it out, but since they now hate all those people and are trying to do things on their own, they can't fucking do anything except get made fun of. But John probably makes the most money out of getting made fun of, because he will let people super chat him insults and he'll just read it and then be like, that's not true. But
apparently he can't like process what it is before he says it.
Yeah, so he just goes for it. He probably doesn't realize that you can go back to super chats after, like, that there's like a place you can go and read backlogged super chats. He's trying to read them as they come as quickly as possible because he's scared he'll miss them. Such an idiot. So, yeah.
I'm a Mensa member.
Opie and John have not really talked about each other, particularly. They've been on each other's shows, they know each other, but they haven't been involved in like the drama that surrounds both of them via Carl.
I think what happened was Opie had retweeted or had Artie Lang on, and Artie Lang talked about Stuttering John, and apparently it was a positive story about Stuttering John, of Artie saying something to the effect of, man, John really got shafted, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it. But then John saw that Opie had done something with Artie and immediately thought, oh, they're talking about me, it must be negative.
It was literally just the way that Opie had phrased his tweet promoting the podcast was like, oh, and he really went in on John or something like that, and John took that to mean like, oh, they did a
they're talking about my kids!
Yeah. When actually that wasn't the case at all. It's just awkward phrasing from Opie. But Stuttering John talking about Opie, getting mad about Opie doing this, caused the streams to start crossing because Stuttering John, more so than anybody, has like a bunch of shows dedicated to making fun of him. Like we're jumping on the John bandwagon, but our show is not nearly as dedicated to Stuttering John as any. There's a whole Dabble Point that's just about John.
That's not even the first one.
Dabbler, Shuli Network is just
Tukey
about John.
Soup, potato soup, or John's Brain is potato soup. WATP has the John section. Who Are These Socials probably talks about Stuttering John.
And WATP does emergency shows sometimes just about crazy shit that John
The Creep
did
Off,
that day.
I mean, is not supposed to talk about Stuttering John, but sometimes they do talk about Stuttering John.
There's way too much to unpack.
Stuttering John has 3 shows
guy.
every week that I get Twitter notifications for.
If
when
you
he's
need
live.
a guy who's an endless source of entertainment, John will be that guy for you.
Man, I really can't describe for you how peaceful it is to be driving through LA traffic, get a notification, Stuttering John Melendez is live right now, and load that up so that while you're driving through traffic, you can just hear,
Get something to be more angry at than the fucking traffic.
So I went down to the pub, the Pickwick pub, and they had
Anyway, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, so, there was this crossing of the streams between Opie and John recently. And if what John was saying in these two tweets was true, this would have been as big of a part of the drama spike as anything else. That, like, Opie and Anthony, who have, as he puts it here, been fighting for 30 years, apparently. I don't think they've even known each other for 30 years.
They might have known each other for 30 years.
Maybe thereabouts, but and if they really hated each other from the very beginning, then yeah, I guess, whatever. They have not become amicable. This is just shit John made up. And when he said this, I was, like, frantically trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Did they do a show together? Like, because that's what this means to me. If I read that, Opie and Anthony are amicable again.
If John tweets about any kind of drama that I believe could be true, I immediately go to Carl from Who Are These Podcasts account, and if he hasn't tweeted anything about it, I go to Cardiff Electric's account.
The issue here, I guess I need to be following Cardiff. The issue here, though, is that Carl was on vacation until, like, yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When he was on that Point Dabble Point. So
I see.
He didn't say anything about this. He didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was very confused. I didn't realize how much I needed someone to interpret
an emergency
John
broadcast.
For me. Yeah, the emergency broadcasts. So, yeah.
Well, you see, I'm actually bilingual. I speak Dabbler as well.
It seems that what happened is that Stuttering John got prank called by somebody pretending to be Anthony.
But they didn't do a voice or anything.
They didn't even
just
pretend
said,
to be
"Hi,
him
I'm
at
Anthony
all.
Cumia."
Yeah, hey, it's me, Anthony Cumia.
Maybe it was John like,
Boy, Ant, you sure sound different after you got out of the hospital.
wow,
Yeah.
my Stuttering John's kind of
So he's just,
losing
I
itself.
guess, making shit up. There's a blind mic project scheduled that's literally titled, like, Opie and Anthony still hate each other, or something like that, just to make sure you know this is bullshit. Here's Opie also. I'm moving on from Stuttering John.
No.
I don't think he's okay. No. Okay, you got a good Opie?
I just don't think you're doing a good Opie.
All right.
I'm moving on from Stuttering John.
He's not that high pitched. He really likes to draw out every word he said and do obnoxious voices.
Jesus Christ.
He's so annoying.
All right, you go for it.
I'm moving on from Stuttering John. I don't think he's okay.
I'm moving
I'm moving on from Stuttering John. And if I had nothing better to do, I guess I could spend my days obsessing about him. Good luck, bro. I'm kind of a pot shot at Carl, I guess, spending his
And
days
Shuli,
obsessing.
and
Anybody
everyone in the
is,
Dabbleverse.
The Dabbleverse does spend a lot of time obsessing over John. I will say that. Even I'm like, it's a little repetitive, guys. Like, I don't need this much.
There was one week, I don't remember what it was, but I, on like 4 different shows, heard Carl say the exact same thing about John. And I went, oh, man.
Carl keeps his story straight.
Yeah, that is
sure.
true. Well, it was just the same, like, story of something that had happened. It's like, the man knows how to market things.
It's true. Self-insistence is a success.
I love this one. I'm killing it on Jeopardy night, so much I'm shocking myself.
I'm
shocking even myself.
John Melendez.
He has been live tweeting Jeopardy lately. It's one of my favorite things.
His way of proving how intelligent he is telling us on Twitter that he's doing good at Jeopardy.
Do you have the one
Where's the receipts, John?
Do you have the one where he blames stuttering
you can film yourself doing it. Like
yeah, that
just
is true.
Film the TV, and when they say the question, say the answer.
God, I would actually pay so much money for John to live stream himself watching Jeopardy and answering.
I know for sure John's the type of guy who the question comes up and he's like, oh, I know that one. And then one of them says it, and then he's like, oh, I knew that was the answer. I've heard that before. And it's like, John, you would not have fucking remembered that if they didn't say that just now.
Do you have the one where he blames stuttering on not getting the answer right? Or not getting the answer on time?
No, but I think that one was covered on another show. Here's a Hack the Movies talking
This
about
is very good.
John. I'll be John and you can be Tony. John says, "Hey, shitwaya, here's my plain edge high school... Hold on. Let me read this correctly. Here's my plain edge high cool graduation photo, too." What a fucking education you got there, John. You can't write school correctly. I had to go back and miscorrect myself. Tony quote tweets this with,
Hey everyone. If I try to impress people with my high school graduation photos, please have me committed.
yeah, he's literally just trying to prove to people that he graduated high school. Look how goofy he looks in that picture, too. He looks
like a fucking teenager. I mean, John doesn't look that, terrible in his younger years. It's the decades of alcoholism. Idiot. He does look like an idiot.
Shitwayer is his nickname for Shuli, who's another comedian who talks about John constantly.
Shuli is also the dues payer.
So that's all the drama that has unfolded this week. But there is drama unfolding now that we'll probably be talking about in the next episode if some funny comments come out of it. I want to get ahead of this stuff in case it's not relevant anymore before next week. But I never heard of this dude. There's a guy called Caleb Hammer who apparently...
I've seen some YouTube shorts of this guy.
This is the most YouTuber thing I've ever heard of. People submit to this man to shit on their finances.
And them personally.
YouTubers come in and they're like, "Hey, take a look at my finances and tell me what's wrong with it." And he lays into them about it. Imagine the level of narcissism to, before you go to an accountant to sort out your finances, you go to a public figure
who is an accountant, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're doing your accounting live. I don't know if they pay him to actually do the accounting. I think he just tells them what they need to do. Why wouldn't you just get that fixed before you...
Just go to an accountant?
Why would you audit yourself live? This is insanity. This is the craziest thing. I totally believe Boogie would do this stuff.
I went to this guy's channel, and one of the thumbnails for one of his videos was him, a guy, and a big red text that said, "Straight to jail." And I was like, that is not...
Let me do Boogie. And you do Caleb. Boogie2988. Little did I know that about 10 minutes after this photo was taken, Sir Caleb Hammer would have fully and utterly devastated and humiliated me. Dude was an asshole about it, but he was right. Caleb. Long drag from the cigarette that Bird's got for our audio listeners.
Let me tell you, the debt, way worse than you thought. The spending is worse than you thought. And what was never said before, not even paying his taxes. If there was any YouTuber that needed an audit and a good yelling at, ...
Another drag from the cigarette.
Boogie.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be legendary. I'm sure this video will get a shitload of views, and people will talk about it, and Boogie will be happy because it's attention, and he's a fucking scumbag. Another drama unfolding with Destiny, and so I got to be up front, because people are going to assume that I'm going to be, relishing in this drama, because the only encounter I've ever had with Destiny went really badly for me. Destiny kind of... In the opinion of myself and my friends and people who agree with me, they all think I won that debate.
I don't think anyone else
in the broader eyes of society and people who watch both me and Destiny, they don't feel that way. So, I've chosen to take it as an L from me. But also, I think Destiny has changed and become more interesting over time. Watching him become friends with Vito and Dick has been really interesting. And
he's great on The Biggest Problem.
He's really good on The Biggest Problem in the Universe, and it just so happens I also am somewhat familiar with his wife, Melina, because
Is she a YouTuber?
she's a streamer, but also she did a Dr. K interview. Another
Oh, okay, I remember that.
very YouTuber thing to do, which is where people submit themselves to be psychoanalyzed live by a real psychiatrist who's selling a program to gamers. But through the interview with her, I think he gave her a lot of good advice that she obviously hasn't followed, given the situation that's playing out here. Because it was largely focused on the polyamory between them, the open relationship, and why she gives herself over to so many people. Now, watching this Melina, it actually had a pretty big effect on me, watching that Dr. K video, because it made me realize that people who are insanely beautiful, people want things from you just from looking at you, and they also want to do things for you just from looking at you. And Melina is somebody who, like, people just treat her really well, but then they ask her for things and she feels like she has to give them everything. And so she's like, every time somebody like wants to be in a relationship with her, she just says yes. And Destiny was a guy who's so like distant and weird and robotic that he thought like the intellectually correct way to be is non-monogamous, because what's the logic behind having emotions? Guess what? There is none, but you're still gonna fucking have them. And so
everybody hurts. Everybody cries.
You know, their open relationship, it always seemed like it was like, yeah, Destiny has access to other women, but he doesn't seem particularly interested, or like that's something he was...
No, he does. He does.
He's done that stuff, but he not on the level that she's always seemed to have like a bunch of boyfriends and like stuff going on. And like from hearing her talk to Dr. K about it, it seemed unhealthy on her end. It seemed fine on Destiny's end because he emotionally seemed to be handling it as a guy with really dull emotions. But like, it seemed like she was just allowing herself to be used by people all the time. And like, they have, you know, the breakthrough moment that everybody has in therapy before they never apply any of it to their life again. But
maybe I am a fucking idiot.
Yeah, here's Destiny on the situation. But this, when I read this, I was like, okay, this is she's exactly who I thought she was based on that podcast and hasn't changed. I guess I'll do Destiny.
Oh, man. You're going to do silly voices.
I'll have a small convo when I'm back about things. I'm not going to nuke Melina or anything, but the last 2 months and 2 weeks have been a massive mindfuck for me, watching her become obsessed with a toxic/abusive guy. When I visited Sweden last, he gave Mel an ultimatum to divorce me and then threatened to kill himself when she didn't do it, among 20 other abusive and manipulative things he's done, and endlessly make excuses for him, so I'm out. Anyway, have fun with newbies for 3 days. Good luck. See ya on the 9th or 10th. And then there's a follow-up. Josh, yeah, me discovering boundaries was the death knell in this relationship. Why? This proves every point I've ever made. Girls can leave you for jobless manipulative losers if they just play their cards right. Yeah, I wanted a massive therapy session to see if I could express myself better and iron out some boundaries, but it's hard for me to ask for anything if I've been a pushover for so many years. So, it's interesting seeing Destiny, like, admit fault in, like, yeah, I've been fucking up by letting the relationship be this way for so long that it got to a point where now she's like walking on my feelings actively and
dancing with a man in the background of one of my live streams.
Yeah,
that was pretty weird.
And like I've been in the situation of like caring about someone, but they insist on being in like toxic relationships, and at some point you're like I want to be supportive of you, but you are fucking up your life actively for somebody who's like using and abusing you. And to see that happening to somebody you're dating and they're like leaving you for that person, absurd levels of abuse.
You're only some of them are supposed to want to use you, and only some of them are supposed to want to abuse you. When you want to do both, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Some of them want to be abused. All right.
Young Shelden. Oh, my God.
Hold on. We're going to take a short break.
You chose the Young Shelden NFL team name, and now you get to choose the jersey. Which Electrons would you want to see represented on NFL on CBS? Let me just say right off the bat, Shelden would never approve of this.
How would you describe the emoji at the end? You got to read the emojis, too.
It's the eyes, you know? It's the looking eyes, the two big eyes.
Welcome to the first of our regular segments on this show, POP-CULTARDS. I want to emphasize this is not an ableist name. because there are plenty of people who are like really disabled and really cool. I've met some people with like literal brain damage or things that like I don't know what is considered retarded, if that's like a real designation.
I don't know that you're allowed to
they
say that
give.
word.
I don't know. Is that a thing that medical professionals designate people?
I had an uncle
Are they
growing
allowed
up
to?
who was designated as mentally
But
retarded.
I'm talking about now in 2023. Is a medical professional allowed to call you that?
I don't
if
think so.
Why can't I say it on YouTube?
Because you're not using it in an educational context.
I just have to emphasize that there are people whose brains function differently and are good people. These are not those people. These are people
Young Shelden fans?
These
I
are
agree.
people whose brains function on pop culture and nothing else. They don't understand. They don't have normal thinking. They're pop-CULTARDed. So...
What if I rizzed your skibbity gyat?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, me
at
neither.
all.
I don't think that actually means anything.
So Young Sheldon ended recently.
Or it's going to.
The
I don't
prequel
think it ended
to
yet.
The Big Bang Theory,
Which has been over for a while.
which has been over for a while, and you know, I like the pilot episode of The Big Bang Theory. It falls apart pretty much immediately after that, and then it ran for 11 seasons. So,
it got like 17 seasons.
Jesus fucking Christ. The most insufferable people in the world are huge fans of The Big Bang Theory, and I can't imagine what it means to trickle down to Young Sheldon.
You remind me of Sheldon a lot.
Yeah, my parents apparently think that I'm just like Young Sheldon, which we tried to watch the first episode of this show. We could not make it 5 minutes in. We were just, this sucks.
Well, because I'll see like clips of it on YouTube, and sometimes it's funny, but that's probably way into the show when there are characters that are not just Young Sheldon. Like the guy that plays Mr. Incredible is a character for a while.
What surprised me the most about going to the Young Sheldon Facebook page is that it didn't talk about the fact that the show was ending. It's like still just running little contests about fucking jerseys or whatever. I don't know what.
Well, this is probably run by CBS.
What is the Young Sheldon NFL team? Like,
it's just a way to sell these jerseys.
I don't know if this is like an in-show thing or like a.
I don't think it's an in-show
Let's see
thing.
what the people have to say. Steve Wilson, I would like you to read this one. It's a confused man. So
I tried binge watching this. Now I'm confused. In season 5, the hardware store guy breaks up with the grandmother. I'm pretty sure the hardware store guy is the guy who plays Mr. Incredible. And the father quits his coaching job. Now in season, the hardware guy and grandma are back together. And dad is coaching the team to a win? What am I missing? And now DirecTV wants to charge me for season 6? I don't think so. LOL.
my favorite part of this whole comment is coaching the team to a win. It's just such a weird phrasing, and the exclamation point. And now in season, the hardware guy and grandma are back together, and dad is coaching the team to a win. What am I missing? It's just such a over-the-top attempt to understand the plot of this sitcom, because they're so known for consistency and episodes being filmed in the same order.
Well, I
that
think
they're
Young
broadcast.
Sheldon does try to have like some kind of
Overarching
timeline.
narrative.
Yeah.
Tom Bleeker. Sheldon would strongly disapprove of this. You do realize?
I realize.
I think there's a Z in realize, right?
Yeah, I do believe that's spelled wrong.
It's really funny. Like shit. Like
also,
there were multiple comments of people who were like offended on Sheldon's behalf about the idea that he would have any involvement in football.
Who spells Tom like that?
Oh yeah, Tom Bleasdale, like Tom York from fucking Radiohead. Morgan Bear says, Sheldon would think he's number one. He thinks physics and himself is number one. So the right one. Meaning the one on the right. Of course.
That's just like a Bitcoin app, isn't
yeah,
it?
somebody responds
or
to
like
them,
a scam.
Like, boat emoji, present emoji, happy face, like bamboo shoots coming out of a pot, and then a church, and then believe in yourself, heart face emoji, and then a link to hundreds of gold coins dating to something. really, really weird. But this is the kind. Whenever somebody leaves a comment this stupid, the bots are like, "Oh, we gotta take a shot at you," Shelden would think he's number one. He thinks physics and himself. Physics and himself is number one.
He does think those things.
This one really cracked me up. We're not going to read the whole Charles Damien response, but Deborah Jean Hopkins, if you could do her real quick.
The blue one is better. Why would Shelden be interested in football? His dad is a coach, and his brother played. Shelden doesn't care about the sport at all.
I really love her little explanation of the lore of the show in there. Like, they need to, like, whoever writes this Facebook post needs to be educated on the lore of young Shelden. But yeah, Charles Damien responds, "Hi, I don't know if you are comfortable with this. I like your profile, and I have concluded that you must be that gorgeous woman to be friends with. I tried to add you to my friends list, but it doesn't seem to work. That's why I decided to comment here. If you don't mind, you can add me to your friend list." So yeah, it's obviously a bot, but I just want to point out, he said, "You must be that gorgeous woman." Here is Deborah Jean Hopkins' profile picture.
Hey, she's gorgeous.
In her own way.
She's the cat, right?
She's
on the ethnics of boinking animal people.
Let's move on to our next segment, Autism Speaks. Once again, this is not intended to be ableist, which I don't even think being autistic is a disability. You can live a totally normal life.
Some people would argue it's a disability.
I think society is disabled,
It's disabling, that's for sure.
But, so, the problem is that autistic people don't have the self-awareness to recognize when what they're doing is going to read to other people as just, like, there's no other way to describe it but autistic diatribe, where, like, they'll be like, "Oh, I've been thinking obsessively about this thing for years, and it's tangentially connected to your video, so I'm going to tell you everything I have to say about it." Stop doing
I
this.
recently made a video about Justin Wang and some of the plagiarisms he did.
I don't want to read about how your life story is tangentially connected to the plot I'm making in the video. Even if I did that in the video, the point of it is not for you to do the same thing. It's for you to respond to what I'm talking about. I didn't watch this video, honestly. I just saw the title and I went, this is going to be funny. This is going to have some good comments. You can already see this is a Patricia Taxon video, a trans YouTuber who I assume is...
boinks animal people.
I mean, this is a funny title. I assume this is probably a pretty serious video, but, like, tongue-in-cheek and edgy, like a ContraPoints video or whatever. You can already see the preview comment here.
Oh, I remember this one.
Do you want to read the little preview comment?
I was treated like a failed human my entire life, and you're surprised that... ...
Yeah, we can imagine what the rest of that comment says, right? So...
Can we?
I
have to
literally
imagine?
opened this up and went to newest first. And so this is just the newest comment that existed on the video when I went to it. From Preds. I think this video has unjumbled something in my brain that I've been ruminating on in circles for years now. My personal relationship between identity and inhumanity and autism is something that I have had many a shower thought on. Yeah, I bet any thought you've had many a shower thought on.
I'm going to be honest, I don't have any thoughts in the shower. That hot water or cold water hits me and I just kind of go, like, blank for 15 minutes.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's all right.
And for so long, I've thought of it in terms of things like human gender presentation, and despite identifying as no punctuation as a furry for so long,
no, it's what is it? Second wind now.
As a furry for as long as I can remember, my desire to be a fuzzy creature never really clicked into that particular thought process. When I was 3 or 4, so okay, he just described nothing. He basically said, "I think a lot." And I hadn't even thought about how me being a furry relates to the other shit I think about. When I was 3 or 4, I would pretend to be a dog for days at a time without pause.
Without pause? That's a little fucked up.
This is the moment where I'm just like, you don't need to tell anybody this. You don't need, and nobody needs to know this. You didn't need to announce this in a public forum. Nobody needs to know this. I'm just letting you understand that. unless you are still, like, if you're pining for that, if you want to go back, do it. Make that an online identity. You will definitely get attention. Don't mind what people say. Doesn't matter. Have fun. Don't talk about this if you're not going to go all in on being a puppy person.
I think they say they're a cat now.
Oh, boy. A male dog, a golden retriever puppy named Oscar. I am AFAB and use she, her pronouns, but I'm definitely not a man, and my persona is a cat now, but it's always been staring me in the face. My autistic tendency to semi-deliberately overact emotions, not semi-deliberately, it's deliberately. You can't semi-deliberately, everything is semi-deliberate, at least. Unless it's, I don't know, it's hard to do anything rawly on instinct with no deliberation at all.
I think Stuttering John is good at that.
My autistic tendency to semi-deliberately overact my emotions in my voice and my face to make sure they're getting across is processed through some Rube Goldberg machine function of my brain as, I wish I had little kitty ears that I could move so people could tell what I'm feeling.
I thought that was cute.
It is cute. I understand where this person is coming from. It's just like, you don't need, like...
That's a hell of a comment to leave.
What you could have said is like, I'm not very good at expressing my emotions, so sometimes I think about how if I could express myself the way that animals can, that would be really cool. And you could have dumped the rest of this comment. You know? It sounded fairly normal. When the social battery runs out, communication devolves into touching and hugging and hair petting because that's what love is.
Love is baby don't hurt
Love
me.
apparently can be boiled down all the way to touching, hugging, and hair petting. That's it.
Back scratching isn't on that list.
Hold on. I'm touching hair petting, touching, hugging. There we go. Do you feel loved? Was that very loving? Was that a loving experience you just said? You look like you got molested. You look like you're confused and scared.
I'm more still reacting to
me just putting my hand on your face abruptly. I wanted to show how touching and hugging and petting is what love is. The desire to be inhuman is the most human trait of all. Amen, is what he says at the end.
Why did they add amen? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. So I followed through this guy's channel because I was curious. I was like, what kind of content has this person maybe created? And I was pretty surprised because I've existed in a parallel space to this
Hyperfixation
person.
hockey.
I didn't bother watching that one. There's a pony video here. It's a Pokemon OC animation. I actually just assumed that was ponies. But what is your favorite inanimate insanity ship? Or no, what your favorite inanimate insanity ship says about you? So, Inanimate Insanity is a web series, part of a genre that is called the object shows genre. And basically, there's these assets of like common objects that are very easy to come by and like to manipulate in video editing software. And so all these very young people started making videos using these assets. There was one, I don't remember the name of it, that was like the first popular one, but this one is the one I was involved with and discovered first, Inanimate Insanity, where basically this kid who was like 16 started doing this as an animation project, and somehow through connections with his dad, he got the voice actor for the host on Total Drama Island.
Oh yeah, that was really funny.
Be the host to play Me Phone 4 on this show through his whole first season. And the first season is very like hard to watch. It's very amateurish, but it has this guy as the voice, and everybody else is voiced by like other kids this guy knew on the internet, basically, like whoever he could find that had any kind of microphone. Most of them sound like shit. But when he got to season 2, the production level had gotten a little higher. The Total Drama Island guy had like fucked off, and he got a new voice actor for that. And I ended up playing, because I was Digibrony at the time, and he was watching my videos, the voice of MePad, which is an iPad parody, and basically reads the stats of who wins and loses each of the challenges on the Survivor parody, show with fucking objects. So my role was usually to be like, and the winner of this round is Toilet. Oh, I can't even do the voice anymore. My voice has gone an octave down in the last 10 years. But, yeah, so I was on this show. Thankfully, MePad is not implicated in this video. There is no ship of MePad. I guess MePad was never shipped with anybody, thank God, because most of the voice actors were children of these characters. But, I guess people did ship them or something. I don't know if this is a joke. I don't know. Like, when we get to the description, he's very particular about, like, well, I didn't find any actual examples of this ship, so I didn't put it in the video. And I'm like, so you did find examples of all the other ones. There's like 20 ships of the object characters, which, by the way, all of their personalities are just, like, obnoxious and over the top, and it's a show written by a kid, basically, so...
Oh my god.
Here's the description of this video. Going back to my roots making object show content. I am cringe and I am free. Love that. I love that. Great energy. I actually respected him a lot more after I read that. God and the universe did not want me making this video. Yeah, neither did anyone else.
The universe is everyone else.
I suffered 2 full system crashes during the making of this, and the plastic casing of my laptop literally broke before I started editing, so I had to duct tape it back up, so this took me infinitely too long for a 2.5 minute long shit post. I understand that I absolutely haven't included every ship. For example, I wanted to add Soapcrophone, I don't even remember that character, but I couldn't think of a joke for it, and I also wanted to add Mefodge, but I realized I don't actually know why people ship Mefodge. Oh, these are the names of ships. Okay. I also managed to completely forget about Salt and Pepper until I was making the thumbnail. I'm such a fake fan. Tell me if you want a part 2.
You should comment and say you want a part 2.
And I will put them in part 2, maybe. Oh, wait. This is... Okay, I got it all. Yeah. And then he has the music sources. I was just so stunned to see this.
Is a she or a they?
A she, they? Oh, yeah, you're right. They gender transitioned.
No. They are assigned female at birth.
Assigned female at birth. Okay, so male... So he or they?
Well, no, because she says she's definitely not a guy.
Oh, okay, you're right. So then just definitely they. If you're assigned female at birth and not a man...
She just was a male golden retriever named Oscar when she was younger.
Unless they are just pointing out being AFAB apropos of nothing. I don't know. Alright, that's enough for Autism Speaks. Let's move on to Weird Internet. This is where we're just going to talk about, like, bizarre corners of the internet. I kind of came up on GameFAQs. I came up on forums in the early days of the internet. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh forum is the first one I remember ever posting on. And GameFAQs in like 2004, I was on the Tales of Symphonia board. I got lured off into another forum and catfished. It's a long story for another time. I was like 14. It's sad. Sad stuff from my history. But GameFAQs was always like pretty dominated by nonsense. But at this point...
Who's fat_bastard?
I literally went to GameFAQs and I just like went to popular boards and saw Mario, right? So I'm like, what's going on in the Mario board? And there's a thread called Attention Fat_bastard. So
why are you so fat? Yeah. At Fat Bastard. It's because he's an American.
No, hold on. Dark Coup Patrol, why are you so fat? That's thread opening. Dr. Piranha 3 responds at Fat Bastard to make sure he knows that this thread is happening. RPG Lover 2, because he's an American.
Does Fat Bastard respond? Oh, thank God. I farted.
Fat Bastard responds.
I'm bigger than you are and higher up on the food chain. Get in my belly.
That's his signature. You remember forum signatures? Is this a thing you have experience with?
I remember forums.
So, on forums... you have it set so that there's something that...
I get the idea. I just haven't really ever used forums.
Yeah, well, well, for people who don't know, for young people in the audience, a forum signature shows up on every post you make. So it's something that you decided, you're like so committed, this is my identity, I want people to understand something about me, so that it shows up every single time I make a post. This is the first signature from Fat Bastard. I am bigger than you and higher up on the food chain. Get in my belly. Not that bad of a signature, actually.
No, pretty good.
It's also probably a quote from Fat Bastard from the Austin Powers
that would make
movies.
Sense.
Dr. Piranha 3 responds, did you? Zane Flint says, you're going to doubt him on that? Dr. Piranha 3, for funsies.
All right.
Zane Flint, he's too stupid to get it. With the signature, death comes for us all, but you first. Sounds like a video game quote if I had to guess. Dark Cooper.
When he's not eating, he's farting.
Yeah. Dr. Parada 3, usually both at the same time. This thread has 23 pages. That was page 1 of 23. I got to the end of that and I was like, no, GameFAQs is too fucking weird. I cannot with this site. This is beyond the level of funny. This is to the level of I can't even understand what I'm reading. So yeah, I jumped ship on that. That's weird, internet.
7-Eleven.
Time for my favorite segment. People, we dove into my internet history a little bit in that last segment. In this one, we're gonna dive a little further because you probably all know me best as a reviewer. If you've watched me over the last 10 years, you know that I'm like a media critic, an analyst, a person who writes about my experiences. And for a long time, I reviewed basically everything I did. So I was doing that for an audience and for money, but you can do it for free on Google or Yelp or something, and just
say whatever you want.
Usually it's people decompressing their negative experiences or celebrating especially positive experiences. Most of the comments are either top tier or bottom tier, unless
I got
people
a free
are really
hat
dedicated.
for reviewing a hotel once.
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. They even gave you the hat before you did the review.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
even have
And
to
it
do
wasn't for a positive, it was just for a review.
Yeah.
Infusion Beach Club in Palm Springs.
So, what was the place we stayed that they gave us free beer when we showed up? That place ruled.
It was just like a Holiday Inn in Vacaville.
So for
there
this
was also
segment,
a baby cat there. I don't know if you remember that.
we're going to be reviewing reviews on Google and Yelp. And for this segment, I thought it would be really fun because we travel constantly, we're always all over the U.S., if I chose reviews of places that happen to be nearby to us. Like, wherever we are at that moment when I'm finding comments, that's what I'm going to pick. It just so happens that we were in Westminster, California, which is North Orange County, about 40 minutes south of L.A., not a lot of English speakers natively in this community.
I believe it's a largely Asian community.
Asian and probably also Latino. So, Latinx, if you will.
Don't say that.
Okay, so
Stop it.
The comments, the reviews, English is not the first language, so there's a lot of English mistakes. I did not choose any of these reviews based on their broken English. We're not here to make fun of broken English. There were tons of reasonable reviews with broken English. Ones where, like, yeah, the grammar's not that good, but I understand what they're saying and it makes sense. Like, they're writing a reasonable critique or a reasonable praise of a business. But there are plenty of people, no matter where you are, who are totally fucking unreasonable. It surpasses the language barrier. Not all of these are in broken English either, but some of them are in broken English that, like, when you take English as a second language and then filter it through schizophrenia and psychopathy, it becomes something even more
I hear
advanced.
the internet is full of schizophrenic psychopaths.
How many times did I make you listen to that opening theme before we started the show?
Like 30 or 40 different times. I don't know.
So anyway, this is a 7-Eleven in Westminster, a convenience chain offering grab-and-go bites and beverages plus assorted newsstand
we know
items.
what 7-Eleven is.
I mean, some people might not. They're very global.
Wow.
Should I do the first one, or do you want to? It's Ivan Dang.
Dang.
Or Dong, probably. It's probably
Jesus.
a Vietnamese name. That's how you pronounce it.
The young guy work at the midnight. Manage, shout to kick him out right away. I was refill my drink for $99. And he say no. He still charge me $169. With the reason I'm not show the cup before. But he know that's my cup. That is my cup. He had seen when I come in. I just smile and ask him, check the camera if you don't trust me. He say no. And he throw my drink right away. Well, that does seem excessive. And he give the cup back for me. So why is he give me the cup back? Because he is knew that my cup.
He is new, that my cup.
But he still want to charge me with the new cup. And why he don't tell me next time show the cup before? But he don't do that. And he throw my drink. And the say I have to get out and don't come back this his store. If not, he will call the police, kick me out. I know he is racism because I'm a Asian. So that's time I'm get really mad. But I have to go, because my English is not well, and I know they are racism.
Oh, this is also the same.
So now I'm try to write on here for everyone know and help me. A touching story, really.
There's a common issue with these like schizophrenic people where they think that like signal boosting a drama they encounter where they feel slighted will get someone to do something about it.
No.
Like somehow if you convince people
like
that this guy was an asshole, we're going to. Well, I mean, it might if he writing this comment could maybe get him free food at a place he was complaining about. But it's not going to instigate a meaningful change in who they employ or what their standards are, especially if this is really the owner of the 7-Eleven that he's complaining about. They don't give a shit. He's trying to get the audience to, like, band with him against this 7-Eleven.
This was also 4 years ago.
It's hard to find this reasonable, like... So his problem is, like, he brought in a refillable drink.
Yeah.
I'm betting that what the issue is he probably brought in the wrong type of... Because I don't think all of their cups are refillable at 7-Eleven,
Yeah, their drink cups are.
Okay, well maybe that's not... I can't really understand how the communication broke down here, but anytime somebody goes into, like, a gross amount of detail about how somebody wronged them, they never mention what they said. They always mention very specifically what the person said that was rude to them, but it always sounds like something that you would say if that other person was being really weird or erratic.
Do you think there's a chance that Mr. Dang was also a racism?
That's all. There's a lot of people complaining about racism in these comments, and it's not that I don't think it's possible.
I believe racism
might have been a
could occur.
racism, but considering we're in Westminster where no one is the same race at all, like, it's just it's every fucking race of person exists in this little, particularly the area where the 7-Eleven was in like a pocket
I know what you're
of,
talking about.
It was in like an Asian market area where like every type of food was like,
there were like
in one
8
plaza.
Vietnamese restaurants.
Yeah. I'm almost certain this person is Vietnamese, but I would also be shocked if the person working at the 7-Eleven wasn't also Vietnamese. Here's Wade Ross. This one's a local guide, so maybe he's got a little bit more insight. This is the worst 7-Eleven. I live nearby. Go in few times a week. My wife goes in almost every day for coffee, and they yelled at her for paying with quarters, dimes, and nickels. No pennies. Told her to never pay in change here, only paper. In the last year, they get new employees, but they are all very rude. What the hell, CEO of 7-Eleven?
I bet he's going to do something about it.
This is the twist at the end where it's like, you didn't write this to the CEO of 7-Eleven. It's a fucking Google review. You are not reaching the CEO with your Google review. Also, 7-Eleven is
hey, Joseph
franchise.
DePinto, what is going on with your business?
CEO of 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's a franchise business, so you're dealing with the individual owner of that 7-Eleven is who you need to take up your problem with.
I'm sure if he complained loud enough, he could get something done.
My favorite thing about this comment is told her to never pay in change here, only paper. He didn't say don't go back to that 7-Eleven, they're assholes. He was just like, make sure you don't pay in change. I want to know, like, what did they yell at her? Like, what was the problem with the quarters, dimes, and nickels? Because right now, well, this is 4 years ago, so I guess they didn't want change back then. She would be thanked for bringing that to a gas station now after the pandemic caused a coin
Maybe it was
shortage or
busy,
whatever.
and she tried to pay in quarters when it was like a huge rush or something.
I can't imagine getting yelled at for that.
Yeah, no, that does seem excessive.
So if that really happened, I feel bad for him, but the phrasing of this is just really funny. Never paying change here, only paper. Robert Contreras, you want to do this?
The young guy was so rude and looked like he was constipated the whole time. He was probably autistic, so I'm not going to say more. Easy 1 star. Of the things you could criticize a business and a person for, I don't think constipation and autism are up there.
I do think it's funny, though, because those things do go hand in hand. Autism does cause constipation. This is the least sympathetic towards an autistic employee I've ever seen someone be. They're like, yeah, I 1-starred it because this autistic guy was rude to me. Like, he's autistic, dude. Like, what do you mean?
How was he rude to you? What did he do?
Yeah, he didn't specify anything. You seem like the rude one, Roberto Contreras.
Costco.
Oh boy,
I know
right.
there's good ones for
That's
Costco.
enough 7-Eleven. So Costco has the most annoying reviewers.
And customers.
They're all the negative reviews of Costco are written by, like, dedicated Costco shoppers who have been going there for years, who intend to continue going there for years, and are, like, making small gripes at the tune of, like, 1,000 words a post about this fucking corporation through Google reviews of an independent location. So let's see what they have to say about it. If you don't know Costco, members-only warehouse selling a huge variety of items, including bulk groceries, electronics, and more. It's a place where you pay, like, a fee for a year.
It's like $60 a year.
$60 a year, and you get to shop at a place that sells you bulk food for cheap. They're pretty good. We had a membership
$1.50
for
hot dogs
a year, and it was great. All right, let's see this. So this person,
that's a doozy.
This is really Autism Speaks Part 2. This person doesn't denounce their autism, but I clocked it. The anime avatar of the slanty-eyed girl kind of gave it away before the.
I don't think you can say that.
Before I even got to the writing, but I have the perfect voice for this, so I'm gonna do this one. I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with a recent interaction I had with one of the employees regarding the Costco Black membership sales pitch. I believe it is important to provide feedback on my experience in the hope that it may contribute to improving customer interactions in the future. During a routine checkout at this like it's a fucking cop investigation. During a routine checkout at this Costco, I was approached by an employee who seemed eager to discuss the benefits of the Costco Black membership.
Yeah,
That's
they
their
did
job.
that to me, and I got it. It's a good idea.
They probably have signs in the back room that say things like, push that fucking black card, like...
Once you go black, you never go back.
While I understand that upselling is a common practice, I was taken aback by the manner in which the employee approached the situation. The individual's demeanor. Not the person's attitude. The individual's demeanor.
Do you think this guy would refer to a white person as an individual?
The individual's demeanor came across as overly persistent and, at times, slightly pushy. Overly persistent is more extreme than slightly pushy. It's not like a scale that goes from persistent to pushy. Like, they both mean the same thing. They're not... Anyway.
I don't know. I think overly persistent is worse than slightly pushy.
That's what I said.
Oh, well. I'll just kill myself.
I appreciate that employees are encouraged to promote membership upgrades. He appreciates it. But the consistent attempts to steer the conversation towards the Black membership without adequately addressing my questions and concerns were off-putting.
Did he have questions and concerns about the Costco Black card or about Costco in general?
I don't know. He didn't really say what his questions or concerns were. Additionally, the employee in question accused me of being rude after I had told them for the final time that I am good without the upgraded membership.
So he said, this is the final time I'm going to tell you this. I don't want the Costco Black membership.
I want to know how he phrased
And then
this.
just ignored the Costco employee for a while.
However he said this, that this person called him rude, I would love to have seen it. Not that you should call your customer rude. I do think I think they crossed the line there.
Yeah.
No matter how this guy's acting, you should be like, all right, man. You know, like not like you're being rude. Like,
we should offer him a free hot dog.
So this is the only part where I understand why he's upset, and he did not need to write fucking 600 words about why he was upset. I would like to think that the employee was having a terrible day. So now
Seems
he's like
he was having a terrible
he's like
day.
coming up with justification. He's like he's telling us how reasonable he tried to be about this. But I cannot put this encounter aside, as I genuinely annoyed me.
I would annoy me too if I were you.
The capitalized I really is the icing on that one. Furthermore, instead of genuinely engaging in a two-way conversation, I love when people say this shit. Who is the judge of what is a genuine engagement? This is something Maddox would say. Well, if you would have the conversation I want to have, then we could make progress through this conversation. Instead of genuinely engaging in a two-way conversation about the membership's features and costs, the employee seemed more focused on highlighting the benefits without a nuanced understanding of my personal shopping habits and needs. This lack of personalization made me question whether the employee was genuinely interested in meeting my preferences
Can I just say something real quick?
Or simply aiming to meet a sales target.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
When we had a Costco membership, I mentioned this. One time we were checking out, and it was like, I don't know, over $400 or something like that. Costco affiliate, I think the one who was checking our receipt or something like that, sees that we spent $400 and goes, hey, did you know that with the Costco Black program, when you spend over $400 at a shopping trip at Costco, you get like 10% of that back or something. Yeah. And I went, really? I almost always spend $400 or more at Costco. That sounds great. So I got the membership. That was it. I believe that is very similar to the pitch that was given to this guy. And this guy started to ask a flurry of questions that do not matter at all.
Why doesn't he want the fucking Costco? He clearly shops at Costco all the time. Just get the fucking membership, you douchebag.
Well, I think based on the lifestyle choices thing, I don't think he spends over that amount, whatever amount of money it is that the Black membership would be helpful to him.
I understand that employees are expected to meet certain sales quotas, and I respect that aspect of their role. No, you don't. You literally just complained about that aspect of their role. However, I believe that achieving these targets should not come at the expense of customer comfort and satisfaction. A more balanced and consultative approach that respects the customer's decision-making process would have been far more appreciated. How much do you think they pay these fucking people, dude?
They do pay Costco employees a lot.
How much do they pay Costco employees? This man is asking for them to be a therapist. This guy is asking to be treated like he walked into a fucking jewelry store or like a place where I know you drop a lot of money at Costco, but like...
No, I guess it's $17 an hour. I thought it was
nothing. Yeah, nothing. This
they do have great benefits, though.
They cannot afford to hire someone who can talk to you the way you want to be talked to. Those people... I understand that your autism allows you to communicate very precisely in text form, and it makes you feel really intelligent and like other people are fucking up all the time, but you came off as rude in this interaction. So you don't know how to communicate either, and you're holding other people to a higher standard than you could accomplish because you couldn't do this job of trying to upsell people fucking black cards at Costco. Realistically, this guy either has a better job or is horribly fucking pathetic. So...
Or both.
I mean, yeah, it could be both. In conclusion, while I continue to value the shopping experience at Costco, this is a 1-star review.
Yeah.
My recent interaction regarding the Costco Black membership, yeah, we know what the recent interaction was regarding. The whole post was about it. Left a negative impression. I hope this feedback can contribute to enhancing employee training and approaches that respect the customer's decision. Oh, I reread a part.
approaches to customer interactions. Please understand that my intention is not to disparage any particular individual.
Yeah,
What do you mean? You are literally...
You're disparaging the entire Costco.
He's blaming all of Costco for the fact that one employee annoyed him a little and then saying, but it's not that employee. You guys can fix this by systematically changing everything you do to make your employees better. I think that guy was just, like, a little too shocked by how rude you were being, you know?
Maybe.
Anyway, but rather to provide constructive feedback that can lead to improvements in the overall customer experience. You gave no feedback.
No constructive feedback.
All you said was, don't try to oversell me on the black card or call me rude. I guess that's constructive. Thank you for your attention to this matter. No one's giving attention to this matter. I look forward to continuing, except for us. I look forward to continuing my association with Costco and hope to see more positive interactions in the future.
Oh, yes, I look forward to continuing my association with Costco.
Would you describe being a customer of a place as having an association with that place? I mean, I guess if you talk about being a Costco customer all the time.
If it's like a cigar club where I pay like a membership fee, maybe. I guess kinda Costco.
Yeah, this was a wild ride. And 4 people found this helpful.
Yeah,
I think because he used a lot of big words in proper language, people are like, oh, this guy's complaint is valid.
This youngster knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know. This guy's a fucking asshole. All right, this one's really funny. This is a very different type of person writing a very long comment. This is the overly neurotic Costco customer. I definitely want you to read this. This is Peter B's 1-star review. Go for it, and make sure you read what the emojis are for our audio only listeners.
Going to Costco is always a stressful experience, no matter the day or time. It's always crowded with people. This is why I try going 1 hour before closing time, which is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know why that would not fix this problem at all.
Sometimes I can manage to get more grocery cart emoji, shopping done, ...
And then 2 spaces, paragraph space. This is a new paragraph now.
There's a trade-off, though. Employees start shouting at members, ... Costco closed. Costco closed. Over and over and over again. Over and over again. ... Open parentheses. Employees block back aisles and deny access to members, where essential items such as toilet paper, water, diapers, food for your pets, ECT are located.
You forgot the emojis for each.
Oh, I'm sorry. Toilet paper emoji, water emoji, diapers, baby emoji, food for your pets, cat emoji.
And dog emoji.
And dog emoji.
But one's like a cat face and the other's like a whole dog body. ECT, by the way, I think they meant ETC, meaning etc.
Oh, sure.
I don't know what the fuck ECT stands for.
I'm just going to say, if your problem is going to Costco too close to them... So, like, he said he goes there the hour before they're closed.
Yeah.
So, if you're aware of that, you should start at the back aisles. And then work your way forward instead of, like, just meandering through
How about you don't go to Costco an hour before they close if it fucking makes you anxious that they tell you the store is closing, you fucking moron. Go early in the morning. Go when they open. Jesus Christ. Also, why did they use parentheses for that 3rd paragraph?
Yeah, that's weird.
What in the dots? You have not been reading how many dots there actually are.
No.
Every time you say, like, ... it's actually, like, 20 dots. And they're in the most random places. I think this person, when they stopped to think of what they were going to say next, just sat there typing dots until they thought of the next line.
And corralling members to the front of the store, forcing unnecessary wait and long lines, when instead members could make better use of Instead, members can make better use of this time and grab a few more items, at the same time allowing for a consistent exit flow. Then members are forced to make another line to have receipts checked before exiting. Like if we were all thieves, I mean, again, Costco checks your receipts. This is something they have always done and will always do.
Almost all business, like all grocery stores, have a receipt checker. If you're leaving with a lot of items, they want to make sure that you have a receipt that says you paid for those items, because people will fill a grocery cart and leave a store.
Like, it's not hard to do that.
Yeah, anyway,
so.
Costco is where you go in a good mood and come out stressed, ... And hoping your next trip won't have to be anytime soon. Laughing, crying emoji, spooked, wide-eyed emoji, and spiral eye emoji.
Can you imagine being this stressed out about going to Costco?
I wouldn't have a Costco membership.
I'm not somebody who has the easiest time being in public compared to others. As a trans woman, I'm always worried about what people are thinking about me or getting judged or something.
Yeah. I judge you in public all the time.
Even before I was trans, just like I didn't take good care of myself, and then I would kind of realize I was in, like, when I was in public, oh fuck, I look like shit, and it's probably apparent. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody gives a fuck what's going on. This person's not even, like, socially anxious. They're anxious that, like, the store is apocalyptically collapsing around them while they're shopping. Like, the world is ending. Costco is going to murder me. They think I'm a fucking violent criminal because I'm in their store too late. And
the real reason that the members are so pushy about getting you out of there is that if you're not out of there by the hour Costco closes, this is actually a binding vow that the founder of Costco made. This is how they keep their prices so low.
Yeah, with the devil.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not out when they close, all of those souls, except for members, of course, just go to the devil.
Straight to hell.
They're actually protecting you.
You do go straight to hell for showing... Why are you showing up an hour before they fucking close? It's causing you so much drama. Just go in the daytime. Fucking A. Alright, here's David, a local guide. Like a lot of us on here, I have had my fair share of Costco pepperoni pizza, but this is the first time I threw it away. It was the worst piece of pizza I have ever had. Even 7-Eleven pizza was better than this.
Doubt.
There was so much oily grease on the thing, I couldn't soak it up with a paper towel.
Costco pizza has a lot of grease. Get used to it.
It was not only on top, but it was on the underside of the crust, too.
That's how grease
soaking the paper plate. I'm very disappointed. You're eating pizza.
Yeah, I've always hated people that, like, blot the grease off of their pizza. Just eat it.
Kill yourself if you do that. When I see somebody doing that, all I can picture is them taking, like, 10 napkins and just shoving them down their throat as quickly as possible. Like, you're eating napkins.
Well, I don't know. I think it's from an environmental perspective a bad idea.
That too, you're napkinning your pizza, making it taste like napkins instead of what it's supposed to taste like
pizza.
Grease!
Or pizza.
The grease is the flavor! The flavor of the pizza's in the grease!
Fat is flavor.
Look, I understand sometimes pizza is too greasy.
No.
You know, I used to go to Sbarro. You get like a little puddle, like your plate's dissolving underneath the pizza and shit.
That's the best kind of pizza.
Throw it in the fucking garbage.
What, the plate or the pizza?
If the pizza is too greasy for you to eat, throw it away. Or ask for a refund. If you're fucking toweling your pizza, die. Because you're making me imagine you shoving napkins down your throat. It's just so unappetizing. The Costco pizza is fucking oily. It is what it is, dude. Also, he gave a 1-star review based on that, even though he's a Costco regular. Do you want to do the Daofo review for 1 star? You're like trying not to laugh, just reading it ahead of yourself. You can do this.
I slipped and fell at the gas station because there's oil on the ground and they didn't clean in time. The manager was refused to call the ambulance for me and they denied everything. The manager said they can't see oil through the camera. They are very good at finding excuses to evade their responsibility. They are too shameless. Man, I would love Too Shameless. Shameless 1 was so good. No lawyer accept the case because my injury isn't big enough, so they can't make a lot of money from it. No one cares justice. I feel the law just is a joke. Only protect bad, sneaky, and cunning people.
The last part is true. But Doubtfo, this comment, the way I interpreted this, first of all, hilarious. Their 1-star review is because they slipped on an oil slick at a gas station. Look at the ground when you walk, people. Look where you're walking. There's oil slicks at every gas station.
You're being very disrespectful to tall people.
There is oil slicks on the ground at every gas station in the world. You should be looking out for that. You cannot hold liable the gas station for there being oil at a place where oil is dispensed by randos all day long. Now, she complains that they didn't clean in time and also that they can't see the oil through the camera, which implies to me that between her falling on the oil and her reporting it to them, someone cleaned it up, which means she didn't report this right away. She came back later to complain about having slipped on this oil.
I don't know. They could have rewound the cameras enough to see her slip at the very least.
I mean, if their problem is I don't see any oil, ma'am, then the issue is probably that she was up and walking, and they were like, why should we give a fuck that you slipped? If no lawyer would take the case, because if she had broken a hip, maybe she would have had a case. She didn't. She just hurt herself and wanted to blame someone. And she's upset that lawyers won't take the case because it won't make them enough money. No, it's because it's a waste of fucking time.
No one cares
everyone's
justice.
Fucking time. No one cares about justice.
No
I slipped
no
and
one
fell.
cares justice.
No one cares justice. I slipped on oil and didn't hurt myself badly enough to make a case out of it, but I'm so mad that something happened to me. Here's Mutong, another local guide.
Why did he censor Eileen?
This is so funny. Yeah, so it starts off, every time I met Eileen,
No,
but
say
it's
it right.
I love asterisk. So he's censored this person's name, but in a way where he only censored the 2 vowels that make it really obvious what name he's saying. Every time I meet
think there's not really, like, he could censor most of the letters.
You could have censored the whole fucking name. If you don't want the name out there, why did you censor it?
He should have
stupid.
He should have Voldemorted it.
Every time I met Eileen, she gave me a very bad experience. This time she messed up my return with her inability. Besides, she is always rude, arrogant, and does not want to help. She frowns like you owe her a lot of money.
But she's a Costco employee.
Apparently she hates her job and the customers.
Why does this guy have frown like you owe?
This person has a lot of experience with people frowning at them like they owe them a lot of money. Yeah. Apparently she hates her job and the customers. Drop her and this place would be better.
I mean, job lynch mob.
So he was trying to return something.
Well, he's had a lot of bad experiences.
Eileen messed up the return with her inability? What does that mean? Because if the problem was that Eileen fucked up...
You see, Eileen only has one leg, and that causes a lot of problems.
Okay, so let me ask you, who judges... Was that like a come on Eileen joke or something? Or
No, that's what you call a girl with one leg.
Okay, Eileen, I got you. This person came into the store with a problem that they needed to make a return. Their judgment is that this person messed up their return. Now, to me, that would mean they fucked up and then that was proven to be the case because someone else came and made it right. If that was the case, though, this would be a positive review. So what he's really saying is this person wouldn't do my return. I think it's very likely that it wasn't Eileen's fault that this return did not go through successfully. But she's always rude, arrogant, and doesn't want to help because you're trying to con her. And yeah, there's a reason she hates the job and the customers. She has to deal with you all the time. I think it's mostly you. She's probably fine when you're not around.
Probably. Eileen seems like a reasonable lady.
I don't know how you become a local guide, but these people are fucking insufferable.
You just review stuff a lot, I think.
Alright, so this one was a place we actually stayed at, Quality Inn and Suites in Westminster. So I have a good sense of this hotel. It's a
pretty good hotel
it's
most
fine.
of the time.
Yeah, we've stayed there for like a week, 2 different times. So I felt like I don't have a
I think we probably spent like a month there this year.
Whatever problems I might have had with this place, they are not reflected in these reviews. Terry Gregg, another local guide. Do you want to do this one?
Would not stay here again. My son got an ear infection after going in the pool. The pullout needs to be replaced.
It's a fucking outdoor pool! You shouldn't let your child swim
At a Quality
in
Inn,
an
mind you.
outdoor Quality Inn pool in Westminster, 15 minutes from Disneyland.
20 minutes from Compton.
This is the most entitled fucking shit in the world. My kid got an ear infection in your pool, and so I'm giving you a 1-star review. How the fuck? Oh, because the pullout needs to be replaced. Your kid definitely wouldn't have gotten an ear infection from being in a chlorinated body of water
He probably
if
just
only
had
the
water in
fucking
his ear.
pullout had been replaced. You know how often kids get ear infections, especially if they go in pools? Doesn't matter how fucking clean your pool is, but also it's a hotel pool outdoors in LA. Fuck off.
Oh god, that's two.
Anthony Shala or Tony, though the other one's just a response from the hotel like, hey, we're sorry, we fucked up. But this person, I will let you, hold on. I will let Yelp, Google, and all travel sites know about how this place is no good and customer service is no good at all. Can't sleep due to loud, shaking, vibrating construction noise at 7 a.m. I called to let them know, and why wasn't I told this was going to happen? I would not stay here.
I'm just going to say, we stayed at this hotel at about the same time this review comes from. Did not hear any construction any single time.
Also, we're in fucking the middle of downtown.
Yeah, that is also true.
This hotel, like, I just forgot we were not literally in the hotel right now because I've got such a strong mental image of it in my mind. But, like, it's on a major road. There's road noise all the time. Like, but how would they know about the construction? How the fuck would the hotel know that unrelated construction was going on somewhere nearby that you were gonna have to deal with? It's a fucking... You're staying in a city, dude. It is what it is. You are there for your own reasons. I don't know what made you choose this hotel, but it must have been that it was cheap or it was locationally convenient or both. Those are the only reasons you'd find yourself here. It's your fault you're dealing with this noise. You needed a hotel. All right, let's go into Walmart. We're switching from Google to Yelp. Walmart has some of the funniest customers doing reviews because apparently Yelp can be used like a diary. Like, you can just keep writing reviews for the same place and it will, like, thread them. So we're going to cover some people who have been going to the same Walmart for fucking half a decade and cannot stop writing negative reviews about it. Don't know why they haven't just gone somewhere else. Well, I do.
Or even a different Walmart.
Idiocy leading to economic deadlock might be the reason. But, all right, let's go do Tran M. I'll handle this because it's long. Tran M. So we're starting with October 3rd, 2023, fairly recent, at 13:40:43. They specified the time.
Timed it? Damn.
The associate checked the receipt. When I handed her my receipt, she didn't want to look at my receipts. She walked back so she won't be near me. She checks everyone's receipt. She acts very prejudiced against people from different backgrounds. It's not that hard to be nice, but it is easier to root and prejudice against people who are minorities. The associate walked around, pushing the chart and pretending to do something, but he was listening to my conversation. So my take on this person is this is just schizophrenia. Just garden variety, very easy to diagnose, like...
The employees at Walmart are gang stalking me. They're talking about my kids.
Like, whatever something that could be perceived as a slight is not just a slight, but an extreme one based on your race. And also, they're listening to you. So that was from 1 month ago, but the thread shows me all the reviews they've written of this Walmart. So we jump back 2 years for this next one.
So they gave it a 2-year break. They didn't go in for a while, or nothing happened for a while.
There wasn't any associate around to help me with the lockup items.
There's usually buttons for that. Oh, I guess.
I press button and no light turn on.
That's not how that works.
I have never seen a light.
It's like
I didn't even
you
know
press
about
the
these
button
buttons.
usually, and the voice goes over the intercom saying like customer assistance needed.
Every
in
time
blank.
I've ever needed something from a locked thing at Walmart,
You just go find a person?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking stand at the counter. This is electronics section, obviously. I find a person. I go, "Hey, I need a fucking Nintendo game," and then they come over and I point at the Nintendo game and they get it out for me. But anyway, no light turn on. I walk to an employee who was nice enough to ask someone else to come and open it. Why do I have to walk around the store to ask for help with the lockup button and no light turn on? The button needs to be fixed. Associate need to be alert. That was a 1-star review of Walmart. I pressed the button and it didn't work, so I had to go find someone else to help me into the case.
Why do I have to do that though?
Yeah, why do I have to walk around? Fuck this place.
Not
1 star.
job. Not my job.
Selling you video games for $10 cheaper than you can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, that's not my job. I remember when, going back to self-checkouts, I remember when those first came out, some of the older people in my family really got on the train of, like, hating them, not for their inability to function, but because, well, you're just making me bag my own groceries. That's just my job now. And the answer is no. There are still real people that will bag your groceries if you really need that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People just like to be reactionary. From over 2 years ago, I witnessed a customer cancel an item. When an assistant came, she was rude to the customers, checking to see if the customer's stealing. When the customer told the associate that will be paying for it separately, the associate didn't respond. Associate should still communicate with customers and not profiling people. Whoa, where's this jump to the profiling come from? Associate pushing the charts inside the store was very disrespectful to me and my party. He yelling and asking us, are we going into the store? But other customers don't question them, rather or not they going into the store. He told them nicely, go in the life side door.
Oh, okay, so they tried to walk into the big cart sliding door
Yes,
that you're really not supposed to walk
almost certainly.
into.
Because I've had a lot of experience. I'm a piece of shit. So when I go to Walmart, if there's some kind of side door and then like a little cart corral where like, you know, they have the half size opening that you obviously see and you go, I'm going to limbo under that. But you're not supposed to. They don't want you to. It's probably a legal liability even for you to do so. So yeah, the employee probably went, hey, that's not the door. And they were like, oh, he yelled at us. He bad, man.
You scared me. I'm going to leave you a 1-star review.
From over 3 years ago, Associates was standing there tapping her box knife at me and not saying a word that I was in her way. Like the box cutter. She's the person that is...
Hang on.
Yeah.
Walmart employees are probably not allowed to say, hey, you're in my way, excuse me, or rush you from whatever you're doing.
She is the person that is restocking items with a yellow big chart. She was at the food item. Also, there were other associate running close to me and laughing near the house product area.
And people aren't allowed to laugh at work.
This is all schizophrenic projection.
Yeah.
She saw a person standing impatiently and saw someone laughing and decided those were both about her, so 1-star review. Young associate were running. One associate pumped into me without apologizing because he don't look before he ran. Associate shouldn't act that way. Is inappropriate to the store how the management look. To all customers, be careful. You might see this and keep yourself and kids safe.
Preach.
Very crowded. I guess it's Sunday and almost Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, it would
Walmart
be.
is crowded any day, lol. People are very rude, standing around staring like they never seen a dark Asian before in their life. Who the fuck is standing around staring at anybody at Walmart? I do not believe this at all.
When I see some kind of new blend of ethnicity in any public scenario, I make a point to immediately freeze and stare at them until they feel uncomfortable. What the fuck is this person talking about?
Using the self-checkout, the people are impatient.
Impatient.
They see my friend and I as easy doormat. Week ago, we were at this Walmart. This old lady yelled at me, go again, and she's still standing in my way. her daughter telling her to zip up your bag. I saw that she wasn't done and she didn't move her chart out of the way, so what space do I have to use to self-checkout?
Oh, whatever.
From over 4 years ago, these young women are very rude to us while we walk into the store. Made a comment that we are mean, but they are the one that didn't greet us. They greeted people behind us. This happens all the time at Walmart. They don't try to greet if you heard them say thank you or, welcome to the other person, they kind of count on you don't want to hear it again. They greeted people behind us. They should be trained for the customer service if their job is to work in the front. They changed associate in the front entrance. One of associate didn't check one person receipt. He let him walk out the door. The customer could have sold something and got away with it. I hate Walmart employee. That's my favorite
Did you say that?
part of the whole thing. Out of all of her comments, I hate Walmart employee is my favorite. That could have been all of it. You could have cut all of this and just wrote, I hate Walmart employee, and made the point just fine.
If I had had this experience with any business, the first one, I just wouldn't go back.
Yeah, right? Like, if you were that pissed off, you would just be like, fuck that Walmart.
Get a Costco
Going here for
membership.
fucking years. All right, that was enough of that lady. You can do Colina H. Another person who's using it as a diary entry, but these are more clustered together and more recent. Mostly from 5 to 7 months ago. If you want to just run through her little Walmart history. These are all 1-star reviews.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I like how you meant that.
Sorry.
You're having a hard time reading the first sentence?
No, it's not that. It's the second sentence. 1 half-filled loaf of bagels. Seems some are missing from the bag. Must be aliens. 4 bagels for over $6? Of course, I didn't buy any, so this person is complaining that they didn't buy something at Walmart.
This person talks like one of my aunts or uncles. So I'll just read it the way I think they intended it to be read.
Okay.
1 half-filled loaf of bagels. Seems some are missing from the bag. Must be aliens. 4 bagels for over $6? Of course I didn't buy any. Like, this is supposed to be a stand-up routine. Like, this woman's trying to be funny.
Do you have the read mores here?
Apparently not.
Oh, damn.
But you can just go. I mean, it's all like this. Like, gluten-free bread is over $1. A little bun or slice or whatever. It's expensive. There were no vegan meats in the meat section. Bitch, they're in another section. They're not
They're
meats.
in the vegan meat section.
The wheels on the shopping carts only go forward. They don't turn. This makes it incredibly difficult. This is a 1-star review, by the way. It's complaining about the wheels on the shopping carts not turning properly.
The wheels on the shopping cart
You know
only
the back
go
wheels
forward.
never
They
go.
don't turn.
They never turn.
They don't turn.
They don't have
The
4-wheel
wheels on the
drive.
shopping cart only go forward. They don't turn.
That's a strange bit from you just now.
My grandma was a preschool teacher
So
to me.
this person's 1-star review was not that they bought a loaf of bagels that was half full. They saw a
I like to
half
look at
full
my
loaf
bag of
bagels.
bagels as half empty.
I can't figure out if what they're trying to say is like this would. I could see how this would be a funny joke if what they actually mean is like there's so few bagels. It's like like half of them were stolen by aliens, I guess. But my impression I got was they literally found someone had stolen half the bagels out of a bag, right?
Yeah.
Why is that a 1-star review?
They didn't take the bagels off the shelf.
I mean, maybe if that was like the only bagels that were left, and you're like, oh, I came here just for bagels, and they only had one that had been half stolen, so I guess I'm not going to Walmart today. That's a pretty negative
Just get a different
experience.
fucking bag of bagels.
Don't write some cutesy fucking 1-star review about it. Like, don't. Ugh. All right, Max M. All employees very glum. Not even a salutation from no one. Only one elderly cashier who assisted us had old school manners. She was the best. I'm handicapped. Not one person lifted a finger while passing by me to assist me. I was on their super squeaky electric wheelchair, so everyone could hear me. So no excuses. I get it, not all employees are happy working at Walmart from what I gather.
You still have a job to do.
What is he upset about? He didn't get greeted?
This is a 1-star review from a guy who did not get a salutation from coming into the store.
Okay,
this is
so-
why they have the Walmart greeters, I guess,
So
because
he
old
didn't
people will get fucking
greeted,
pissed.
and then no one else in the store was nice to him or didn't get out of his way.
Except for
the
elderly
cashier
cashier
with old school manners.
who was the best.
She was the best.
She was the
yeah.
best. So this is a 1-star review in which one of the people you encountered was the best.
I would think that warrants at least 2 stars.
Right?
Come on.
Wouldn't you do that? Like, yeah, most of the people at the Walmart sucked, but one lady was really nice. It's like, fucking, I never meet a nice person at the Walmart. This is a 5-star review if I've heard of one. The super squeaky electric wheelchair. It's a fucking free electric wheelchair. You can't afford one. Be glad they have something that allows you to buy shit at their place or get on Amazon, for fuck's sake. Not all employees are happy working at Walmart. Actually, none of them. None of them are happy working at Walmart. It's a job that can only exist because people's standards are so low. Except for the people complaining about Walmart, I guess. This is the last of the reviews that we're covering on this episode. I think this was a campground we stayed at somewhere random. And I just thought this review was so fucking funny. You gotta read this one. From Ron.
Not bad for a cheap gated place to get off the streets for a quick tug-a-thon so the cops don't interrupt. What the hell's a tug-a-thon?
Masturbating.
Oh, why is this guy advertising that he's masturbating? Just avoid days when foreigners are camping. If you see Tent City and get blasted by a massive stench of low hygiene, these people are ready to come up on your property while you sleep. Winky face.
So, yeah, this is another guy who's trying to be, like, cute and funny, but this is a 2-star review where a guy's like, yeah, you can come here to jack off, but if a lot of foreigners are there, they might
catch you
walk
jacking off
through your campsite, so be careful. No further comment. This
I don't know.
is
This
fucking
one's weird.
hilarious. All right, let's move on to our next segment. That one ran kind of long.
Ooh.
That was what's happening around the country. Here's what's happening in my neck of the woods. My own comments.
Are these just your
These are my
okay.
own comments from the Yig Studio channel. This
was a real hot take.
most popular. I forgot to wear my fucking sunglasses.
They're right there. Do we got to restart everything? Redo it?
No.
Oh, okay.
My most popular video ever. It has nearly 6 million views. It still gets shitloads of views to this day. It's still regularly the highest viewed video on my channel. It's called How to Recognize a Terrible Anime in Just One Episode. And it's about an anime called Gate, mostly. It covers a few different first episodes, but this was actually part 3 of a series where the first 2 parts are how to recognize a great anime in just one episode. Of course, nobody cares about positivity as much as negativity, so my way more successful video is how to recognize a terrible anime. But it's mostly focused on Gate, which is a show about... it's set where in Tokyo, a bunch of invaders from another world suddenly show up. People on dragons and like knights and shit. And
But we have guns.
Murdering people in the streets. And yeah, the Japanese government or the military, which they're not technically allowed to use, but they still have a defense force.
Yeah.
The defense force gets to act and they
Let
jump
Japan
in.
have a military. Who cares?
The point of the show is just like, hey, wouldn't it be badass if like we saw how easily modern military would just rip through dumbass fantasy shit. People who
Sounds
really
fun.
It's a show for
Oh, I'd love to see
people
a
who love the
dragon get
military.
blown up.
It happens in like episode 3 or 4.
That's
A
pretty
tank
cool.
fights a dragon. That's the appeal of the show.
That
I
sounds
get
neat.
it. It's just not very good. It's just
It's not
a
very historically
shitty anime.
accurate either.
But here's what Dig Bod HSF 1882 had to say about my video about Gate. Okay, I'm about to go off. Gate was one of the most amazing anime I ever found. And of course the premise is going to be weak.
It's a fucking start, you dumb bitch. And yes, they have a lot of girls, but compared to most anime I've seen, they are not overused in a sexual way. Maybe watch the fucking anime before you fucking comment, you fucking bum. And the start wasn't supposed to be funny. If you have no fucking taste, just say and then a little face, and then a little jazz hands face. You look traumatized by this comment.
I've been staring at the camera through the whole time you were saying it. Yeah, it's not great. It's
really fucking funny for me. Of course the premise is going to be weak. It's the start of the show. No. First of all, I don't think I said that the premise of Gate was weak. The premise is the only strong thing about Gate, is what if the military fought fantasy soldiers. It's why the show is incredibly successful. I also have a video, I actually don't know if this is still on YouTube, but it was about, I don't remember the name of the fucking show, but it was about how, if a show has a strong premise, that's all that matters. Like, if you can net people with, like, they just want to see what the show, like, whatever the show is about, if that's something people want to see, they're going to watch it.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan has a strong premise, Sword Art Online has a strong premise. Lots of shows are just super successful because regardless of the quality in the long run, the premise at the beginning is really well done. And even though this show sucks right off the bat, like, the premise is, again, the only thing it gets right. So I don't think I shat on the premise. But this person who likes the show is saying, of course the premise sucks. It's the start of the show. The first episode is usually just about establishing the premise. Any good show, any good first episode is about establishing a good premise. And Gate falls into that category too. The premise is the best thing about the show. It's a fucking start, you dumb bitch, though. I just afraid when he ramped up to you dumb bitch, all of a sudden I really got
at least
cracked
he's
up.
accepting of your gender identity.
Yeah, before you fucking comment, you fucking bum. He's very Tony Soprano, like the way he uses swears. Also, there's no punctuation at all in that whole comment. You want to do the next one? This is from my biggest problem in the universe lecture 2.0, the video about Maddox and the drama that he's creating now with his new 3-hour video that we talked about. But this is Rowan8855. Go for it.
I'm trying. I like to get a sense of who I think.
Try to think of the voice like by reading the comment a little ahead. It's a good method. Just means I have to edit.
As someone not too familiar with either side, I don't like this video 20 minutes in because it's just making fun of Maddox for being uppity, clueless, insecure, etc. But that's just crapping on a guy for not having the charisma he wishes he had, which just feels mean. On the other hand, Maddox alleges serious moral failings on the part of Dick, you, and other associates.
Wait, stop there for a second. Let's address this paragraph first.
Sure.
So, this is an hour and 30-minute video that this guy's commenting on. He watched 20 minutes, and he's like, well,
you haven't
so
been yelling
far,
in any of the
you're
other
just attacking Maddox's
sections,
character, and you haven't made any serious accusations, whereas in the 3 hours of his video where he talked about you an hour and 10 minutes in, he made really serious accusations about you. So this seems a little uneven. What the fuck, dude? Watch the fucking video! Why? I hadn't gotten to it yet! In this video, I explain Maddox's entire history. I explain who this guy is, because he hasn't been relevant in a decade, and he showed up out of the blue to talk shit about me. So I had to explain to my audience who the fuck he was first, before I even talked about how he had fucked up everybody's lives, especially his own. Unbelievably infuriating that you didn't watch the whole fucking video before saying, well, none of these accusations are very serious. I'm still in the setup phase, you impatient fuck. You were patient enough to type all this? You couldn't watch the video? Alright, continue.
I don't know if I want to.
Just go for it.
You're really...
It's not you. You're not the guy. You're just the...
No, I know.
You're the messenger, you know.
You sound like those people next to us.
Yeah, we have some people. Luckily, they haven't done it while we've been recording, but there are people like fighting, having major domestic
on both sides of us,
disputes in the room next to us all day. I'm surprised we didn't get that.
So loudly.
All right, whatever. Anyway, kind of want them to do it now that we're deep into the podcast. It'd be really funny.
I'll even say that I hate Maddox's attitude and politics, but I have sympathy for him as a person, based on the harassment he alleges he's receiving in the video you're responding to.
Yeah, you would have sympathy for somebody who's making up a bunch of lies about how bad people are treating them. Yeah, that would be pretty fucking sympathetic, wouldn't it? What if you listened to the other side, too? What if you listened to both sides? Would you be sympathetic to me? Would you be sympathetic to Dick? Because right now, your take is, well, Maddox called you a pedophile, and so far all you've said is that he's kind of a fucking moron. And that's not a serious enough accusation. Watch the whole video! Alright. Oh, is that it? Was that the whole comment? I thought there was more to this comment. Yeah, I hate that guy. Fucking kill yourself, Rowan.
Hey,
please.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Alright. Enough punching down. It's time to punch.
Wow,
our
amazing
dicks.
big bouncing tits.
Our next segment.
Please fill my pussy with cum.
Our next segment is shit. I
What'd
forgot.
you call this one?
It's not called Jack-Offs. It's called something like
Jacked Off.
oh shit! I'm showing my script on the screen right now. Oh no! Wankers. There you go. Not Jack-Offs. Wankers. It could be either one. Let's have a vote. Vote for. Let me know in the comments. Do you want this to be called Jack-Offs or Wankers, or Jack-Offs and Wankers? We could go all
Jacked
the
Off
way.
review segment.
Jacked off review segment would be all right. All right, yeah, porn comments. We're doing porn comments. Like we could just call this segment porn comments. That would probably be.
Yeah.
I don't know if YouTube will censor it.
Let's have people vote.
Yeah, we'll do the vote.
Just
so
comment what you think it
I
should
found
be.
some porn with really funny titles and read some really funny comments on it. This is our closing section because the kids have gone to sleep. They can't make it through the 4 hours of podcast to make it this far. And also, there's nothing to say about these comments. They're just hilarious.
They're pretty funny.
So let's look at the comments on wow, amazing big bouncing tits. Please fill my pussy with cum. Sexy only in AM says, you still want to make morning sex hotel room tape? Question mark. You want to do Cream Lover 413?
I wish I could get on her next and beat her pussy. Enjoy playing in there. Creamy mess. I love her legs up so tight.
What you said? Creamy mess. Oh no! Oh, it's even better than I thought. Alright. Horny Mommy 97 says, my BF stopped having sex with me, so I have to come to this website every night. So lonely. Your tits are amazing, love. Oh, here's Cream Lover 413 again. I didn't realize it was the same person.
Is this the same video? Do you think?
Yeah, same guy, same video. Cream Lover 413. So do the same
he's
voice.
hitting on her.
Yeah. This is in response to
okay.
the girl, Horny Mommy 97.
I'm 21.
Sorry, hang on.
Now that I know it's the same guy's
Yeah.
voice is even funny.
I had a different voice entirely for the comment. But it's the same guy, so...
I'm 21. Tatted, slim, built with abs, and an 8-inch smooth cock. You poor mamas. If you want attention, we can Snapchat.
If you wanna attention. Like it's an activity.
Do you think anyone's ever, actually, started a relationship from the comments of porn? Okay.
No, never. Bro, stepsister's pussy takes no prisoners. She crazy? This is where we're gonna get the rest of our porn comments for this episode. I mean, Jeff 69. Yeah, 100%, I reckon, on God. I love that it's a direct response to the title of the video.
We are love woman. I also want a hot stepsister.
What the fuck does we our love woman
I don't know.
mean?
And then there's like a nose exhale emoji.
Oh yeah, I also want a hot stepsister. Yeah. DJVGJBSSX.
I think this guy just made up a random username so it couldn't be tied back to him.
Crazy? I was crazy once. ... I think this is clear evidence you are still crazy, my friend. Bend over, thanks.
Well, I feel like I have to bring this voice back.
A rubber room filled with rats.
To which just another human responds.
A rubber room.
I didn't watch this video.
I
don't
doubt there's a rubber room.
think there's a rubber room or any rats in it. I don't know what the fuck this comment was about. Raggy baby. I can fuck her 24 hours. Continue. What a figure. Love you, babe. Smoochy face.
Junie W. His boobs is so big. Heart emoji, smiley with a tongue sticking out emoji.
Twice. Vortex 13254. What a champ. Dude got his tit bit and didn't even wince. Bird looks horrified.
What a champ he is indeed. That's, I don't know. What a champ. He really got kicked in the balls.
Hey, that's how I felt about that guy in that video where those two chicks just beat the fuck out of him. And he's like, yes, please, mommy. Guy rests in...
This is depressing. Why
Damn.
did you choose these?
Damn, I just want to feel love.
Goofy as hell. Goofy as hell. Real. What a username.
Ghost Azriel says, I am waiting for World War III to destroy us all.
Horny Programmer 0. Obliterate porn? Ain't no way.
Nope. Ain't going nowhere. Lubidilazop. Can someone give me a hug?
These are really kind of
Looking
sad.
for love in all the wrong places. It's why are they posting? This is on, by the way, like, bro, stepsister pussy's so crazy. And people are like, can I get a hug? Like, so anyway, that was it. That was all the comments that we went through.
Did you do this one already?
This comment is I decided at the very end we would do my favorite comments, like the best comments. This is your incentive to not leave shitty comments, because I will actually talk about good ones. Like Chloe RET, who said, did not expect you to come back with a zero-effort lecture about spicy, trauma-bonded, toxic middle-aged man yaoi, but I'm not complaining. Phenomenal comment on the Maddox lecture 2.0. So yeah, that's the show, everybody. This is our comment response show. Please send me shitty comments. Go to the Discord. Go to my Twitter. There's links in the description. Go to Picnic Adventure. Go to We Watch Anime, which is, got like 26 episodes already. If you need a ton of content, if maybe you're just discovering me through this video somehow, I've made over 5,000 YouTube videos. So
that's a lot of YouTube videos.
This is the one where I talk about drama and literature. So
commentary forever. What,
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I have an ending. My sign off is fuck off.